I love how we started off just by like looking down at the computer. You start the live stream like this.
That's how I always start a live stream.
All right. Fanfare, intro. We'll have an intro someday, I'm sure. What's going on, guys? In case you don't know us, we're the Cinefanatics. My name is Chris Adams.
And I'm Robert Adams.
And we are here today for a solid, probably going to be like a 2-hour something minute live stream. We're going to be talking about the Oscar nominations that came out, as well as other stuff.
The Schmoedown Awards and Draft were this past weekend. Now, here's the thing. The Schmoedown Awards and Draft video has not dropped on the Schmoedown Entertainment Network yet. So, if you were waiting and trying to avoid spoilers and you haven't heard any yet, first of all, good job. Second of all, we will let you know when we're going to talk about those if you don't want to watch, so you can click away. But we're going to start off talking about the Oscars here in a moment.
Either way, thanks a lot, RB3, for not getting the stuff done. He's already apologized. It's okay. We understand. RB3.
I want to let you know right off the bat that this video is not going to be child-friendly unless your name's Lil Warrior, then it's definitely child-friendly for you. That this video is going to have topics about awards, it's going to have topics about drafts, and it's going to have foul language primarily in the chat, and probably by Jake Yacovetta.
Should he end up in our chat at some point?
Yeah. So I want to drop to the chat real quick as we start this off. Say what's up to the early people, the people who are here when we start. What's up, Matt and Caleb, Little Warrior? What's up with y'all tonight? What is up, Garth McMurray, one of our biggest fans who follows us everywhere we go. Absolutely love Garth.
I love opening my phone to 18 notifications and it's Garth just hauling butt and just supporting us like crazy. So.
Dude, I absolutely love Garth. What's up, Jerry Jedi 1994? Was there a Jedi movie in 1994?
Jerry Jedi 1994. That, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is Jeremiah Morris. So.
Oh, cool.
He just changed his name because I guess other people named Jeremiah were in chat on Action or something. I can't remember.
Well, nice to know.
I'm trying to remember what happened like days ago.
And Random Rock and Real Riff and Reviews. That's Tyler.
Hey, Tyler, how many people say that correctly right off the top? Because he's never going to be one of them.
No, I was trying. I was really trying at that. So
I know you were trying. Never going to be one of them.
So I was giving it all my all, and yeah. Anyways, so also as we get into the stream, I want to let you know that we do have Super Chat available, so feel free to drop questions, comments. If you want to compliment us, that's cool too. We also, hopefully, this time, got the Streamlabs working. So
link
if you could definitely help us out, test our Streamlabs link, and let's see if it works this week.
It should. I got a hold of them, even though it took like 3 days for them to get back to me. But, whatever. Yeah, it all works out. You can't have somebody who's like on call to help you out with your issues right then and there, apparently.
Yeah,
but
so.
Anyway, I think we got it working. So, those of you who want to use Streamlabs, go ahead and try it. Double check for us. Let us know. I mean, we should probably know, too, because it'll come through. But you can at least click on it and let us know if it looks like it's working for you. So.
Anyways, so moving on, we're going to kick things off talking about the Oscars, unless there's any other intros things that I feel like I'm forgetting. Maybe.
Yeah, and I guess just to reiterate, yeah, we're going to be talking about the Oscars for the first part of this live stream, and then we will be getting into the Schmoedown stuff, which unfortunately hasn't dropped on the channel yet. I know a lot of you guys, like he was saying earlier, have already been caught up on some of the spoilers through Twitter, through the Facebook group, all that. So if you're here for that, then cool, hang out with us. Otherwise, come back later on the replay once that stuff is finally dropped on YouTube.
Yeah. So kicking things off, the Oscar nominations were released yesterday, and as you may have already seen across the entire interwebs, there's a bit of a tizzy on some of these, so I want to just cover, real quick,
Tizzy's a word that people don't use ever.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can't, really say a lot of words here, because this is a friendly channel. Anyways,
words are not friendly, guys.
There's a lot of a lot of these that we want to cover, that we want to talk about. We kind of give like our impressions on a few key categories and who we think may win. Right off the bat, though, here's the thing. We haven't seen a lot of these movies yet. There are some... Yeah, my cat's wandering around extra needy tonight.
The Cinefanat cat, she's crying her head off for some reason.
Yeah, so she might pop up a couple of times during this.
Maybe.
So there's some movies that we haven't seen yet, and we will hopefully be seeing by the time the Oscars come around. Our idea right now is to do a live Oscar pre-show and post-show, or we might do a live watch-along. We still haven't figured this out yet. We're possibly coming up with some ideas.
Either way, this stuff's going to go down on February 9th, the actual date of the Oscars, so we should not be drinking beer on camera. I just want to burp all the nominees right here.
You know, if it's classy enough for SEN, it's classy enough for us.
Maybe that's true.
Yeah. Real quick before we jump into this, looking back in the chat, what's up, Kelsey?
Kelsey joined us, yeah.
And here's another thing I want to touch upon real quick. This past weekend was a huge event, and other than, for those of y'all that know, if you follow us on Twitter, if you don't follow us on Twitter, make sure you follow us, because we got Cinefanatics MLP, we got Chris Adams MLP, Robert Adams MLP. Follow us because we're trying to build up our social media, and I would like followers. That would be great.
Yeah, he just wants to be known by people.
Yeah. For those of you who happen to be here, if you're watching it right now live or if you're watching the replay, if we got to see you, hang out with you this weekend, it was great being with y'all this weekend. It was a blast. Again, those of you who are following us on social media know that other than like a couple of issues with the plane leaving Austin,
good Lord,
this has been a pretty flawless weekend, and it was a fun, within 24 hours, we were out of Austin in LA.
And back in Austin.
And then back in Austin. Well, yeah, a little over 24 hours roughly. We were back in Austin. But, I mean, this whole thing was, compressed down to a 24-hour time span, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
So... Thank y'all to those of y'all who were there. It was great hanging out with you. Can't wait to hang out with you again. To those of y'all we've seen before in other live events. For example, I know Matt Graham we saw at Spectacular. A couple other people we've seen in person, I believe. We're still trying to get used to the whole community here. And yeah, if we run into you at live events, wave hi, let us know who you are. Because some of y'all we might just know by name from being on the internet.
By now, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people that we would like to interact with personally. Just let us know who you are if we happen to see you at live events.
Yep.
So jumping into the Oscars, I think we're going to kick things off.
The 92nd Annual Academy Awards people are coming, and boy, is there controversy.
Woo! You know, is there ever an Oscars ceremony that there isn't controversy in?
Not for the last 10 years. Decade and a half
Pretty much.
or so.
Also, one thing to touch upon before we actually get into awards. They're not having a host this year either.
That's nothing new as compared to last year. They couldn't get Kevin Hart to come back? No? Okay.
They couldn't get him to come the first time. He was like, no. Brian Nussbaum, I wonder what manager will take to Cinefanatics. We will be talking about that later.
We'll chat about that on the second half of this whole ordeal that we're doing here tonight.
So, yeah, that's definitely going to be a subject that's going to be talked about. So, speaking of snubs, we're going to talk about those later, too. Let's get into what was actually nominated and what was honored for their achievement in what they were doing and they're working on, their passions, stuff that they like. Am I drilling this a little too hard? I don't know. Moving on. Best achievement in visual effects. Why are you going to my bedroom? Oh, he's turning down the air. Yeah, it's already really hot in here.
I'm not going to your bedroom, you doofus.
We're in Texas. It's January, and
for some reason it's 70-something degrees outside in January, and it's stupid.
Yeah.
What's snow? I don't know.
So, best achievement in visual effects. So, here's the thing. Looking at these, we've seen Lion King, Star Wars, and Endgame. I have to say I'd go with Endgame. Easily, because I think that's actually the only. No.
Wait, so are those the only 5 that are up for the visual effects?
Yes.
Okay, so
That is the only award that Endgame was nominated for,
Which is-
we're gonna talk about that again.
that's so stupid.
in a little bit.
That's so dumb.
I think Endgame was fantastic. Now we haven't seen 1917 yet.
Yeah.
We're seeing that tomorrow night.
Now keep in mind, visual effects on that are going to be more practical. So
Yeah.
the visual effects category isn't necessarily always just CGI.
Mm-hmm.
It's the proper use of practical effects also, which, you got Star Wars in there for both. And the thing is that Rise of Skywalker is always a good one to touch on for both practical and special effects. But my question is why in the heck is Lion King in this? Because that's an animated movie.
Yes, but the CGI done.
I said it. Deal with it.
The CGI done on those animals looked really good.
The animation.
Here's the thing. They did it extremely well. They did it so well they forgot to give them emotion on their face, and they're like, "Hey, we'll treat these like real animals."
Yeah, and that's my biggest problem with that movie. But yeah, no, my pick on this is going to be Avengers for the visual effects. Now, I know there's talk about The Irishman also, another one that I've yet to see just because that's a time commitment to do so. Mm-hmm. That whole thing's more about the de-aging techniques used on the actors in that. So I've heard good and bad things, mostly somewhat bad things. Not quite great, but it is what it is. So I know we're going to talk about maybe a little bit we're going to talk about snubs later.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to pepper them in everywhere, but there's a big snub for this category, but we'll get there.
Yeah. So moving on. So I think we're in agreement that Avengers.
I would say Avengers should be the one to take it. I mean, that's just a tour de force of a visual effect movie.
Yeah. Best achievement in music written for motion pictures, original score. So we've got 1917, Little Women, Star Wars, Marriage Story, and Joker. Again, we've only seen Joker and Star Wars. We'll see 1917 tomorrow. I am eager to watch Little Women just because it's on so many people's watch list.
Yeah.
And I believe Marriage Story's on Netflix.
It is. I actually want to
Which
Marriage Story is on my wanting to watch list here pretty soon. I'm gonna actually turn it on because I'll just throw it on as I go to sleep or something.
So here's the thing. Going over like the composers for this.
Randy Newman did Marriage Story.
Left foot, right foot.
Prenup.
Wow. It's a song about marriage
and divorce.
Yeah, this is what you tuned in for, y'all. This is why we have 6 viewers right now.
It's also because Koi is live streaming at the same time, too.
Yeah, possibly. So.
Hi, Koi. Oh, you can't see us. You're doing your own live stream.
By the way, he has great thumbnails.
He does have great thumbnails. I wonder who did those.
Possibly.
Moving on.
So 1917, Thomas Newman, who's a good composer. Little Women is Alexandre Desplat. Star Wars, of course, is John Williams. And Joker, I am not about to try to pronounce that name on a live stream. That is one that I will say. Yeah, did you not see that before?
No. I'll do the first one. First name is
Hildur.
Hildur.
Yeah, that's about it.
That last name has a bunch of things floating in the air above the letters.
No. That is one that I'm going to listen to someone pronounce properly.
Gudattator.
Okay, go ahead. Yes.
Gudattator. I don't even know what nationality that is, to be honest.
Here's the thing. The music in Joker was fantastic.
Carry on. We're going to do this. I'm going to figure this out.
Don't do it right now.
Just keep going.
So the music in Joker was gorgeous. If you've seen Joker, primarily the portion after he kills the people on the subway.
Spoilers.
I mean, come on. It's almost kind of in the trailer.
Is that
as well.
even a letter? Good lord.
So after he kills the people on the subway, and
Icelandic,
he goes to this random bathroom and he starts dancing around. The music that's playing just in that scene alone is phenomenal.
She's 37.
She?
That is a she.
Oh, did not know that. Well, again, fantastic music used especially in that scene and throughout the whole movie. I love the score of that. Here's the thing. As much as I love the score of that, I think you're going to have a hard time.
No pronunciation anywhere.
I think you're going to have a hard time beating the master of all movie scores, John Williams. A Star Wars movie came out, John Williams did the score. That's going to be hard to beat.
That's a hard one because here's the thing, like, I know that there's a lot going out for Alexander Desplat for Little Women. And there's big talk. I know they talked about it on SCN also, but there's big talk of the Star Wars of John Williams' nomination here being a legacy nomination, just because it sounds like this is the last movie he's ever going to score anyway.
Yeah.
So he's just full on retired from scoring movies after Rise of Skywalker. So that's a big deal. That's a big deal if they're giving him a legacy nomination. It'd be cool to see him go out with an award, even though he's gotten them before.
Yeah. So, I mean, I want Joker. I'm pretty sure John Williams is going to get that, though. So, again, I'm leaving this up to seeing the other movies before the Oscars actually come out. Makeup, we got 1917, Joker, Maleficent, Bombshell, and Judy. Here's the thing.
That's a hard one because there's two of those that are... There's two of those.
There's two of those that are absolutely... And the two, at least the two I know I'm talking about, are Bombshell and Judy.
Uh-huh.
Judy's the makeup on Renee Zellweger.
She looks just like Judy Garland.
There's a couple of scenes where you can tell it's Renee Zellweger. Otherwise, it's Judy Garland.
It's funny because when I look at Renee Zellweger, I can't tell it's Renee Zellweger.
Well, it depends on which picture you're taking. Some of the pictures of her from a couple of years ago.
Surgery.
Well, yeah, there looked like there was some facial reconstruction at some point, and it's kind of hard to tell. For the most part, she still does look like her original self, but it's really hard to tell in this movie. They did a really good job with the makeup on that. Here's the thing. I could say almost the same exact sentences for Bombshell.
Yeah.
Charlize Theron's makeup as... who was it? Was it Megyn Kelly?
Yep.
Yeah. Phenomenal. And a couple of pictures I've seen from that, you can barely tell in some of those images that it's Charlize Theron.
Yeah. That's the biggest deal, is that there's barely a moment that we've seen from trailers and such that she doesn't look like Megyn Kelly, that she looks like Charlize Theron. So that's one that I would say is probably the one to take it.
Also to touch upon Bombshell is going to be what's his name?
Yeah, Roger Ailes.
Schmoedown. Yeah, Roger Ailes.
John Lithgow.
John Lithgow, yes. John Lithgow's performance.
He was the one that got on there, not me.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. So John Lithgow is Roger Ailes. The makeup on him, I mean, obviously they put him in a fat suit.
Yeah.
But you can't see it at all. You can't see like any break like in the lines. They made his face bigger. They gave him like the jowls and stuff for it. Mm-hmm. You can't see that. It is flawless. And John Lithgow has a very definitive face.
I can tell it's still John Lithgow.
But he has a very, especially like around the cheekbones and chin, he's very defined by those facial features.
Yeah.
And you can't see them in his makeup. At least in the images I've seen. We haven't seen that movie either, but at least in some of those images.
There's a lot of these that we need to catch up on. We're just kind of behind on the times. And
some of them are
doing things.
Some of these movies, some of the movies we haven't seen are due to the fact that they came out like in December and there's the holidays. We're having a hard time trying to keep up while also celebrating the holidays. We're still a baby YouTube channel.
I'm not going to keep, we do this full time. We see all the movies.
Yeah.
Also, 1917 literally just came out wide for some reason. I don't know why Austin didn't have that one prior to this moment, but we get to jump in that here tomorrow. So so we're saying Bombshell for that one, right?
I don't know. Bombshell probably.
I feel like I'm going to give it to Bombshell. I mean, like, good. Renee Zellweger looks like Judy Garland, but Charlize Theron looks exactly like Megyn Kelly. Yeah.
And what was it? Garth is talking about the best transformation of Charlize Theron since Monster. I agree.
Exactly.
So yeah, that was some good makeup. Cinematography. So 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Lighthouse, Joker, Irishman.
Yeah, it's 1917.
So we've seen Joker, we've seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. 1917 is Roger Deakins, who was one of quite possibly the most famous out of all the cinematographers there. Yeah. He's also one of my favorites because he also did the cinematography for Shawshank Redemption.
Oh,
in fact, a character in the movie was named after him. Mm-hmm. I will go with Roger Deakins. He's been doing cinematography for years, but he finally won his first award for Blade Runner 2049. Yeah. So from what I've heard, and again, we'll see this tomorrow night, 1917. I'm willing to bet it's going to be him.
I feel like that one's the easy one. Like, I've seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and that's cinematography on that movie is great. Joker, also great. Fantastic. 1917, the whole thing is supposed to be in one shot.
Mm-hmm. I've seen the behind the scenes where they're talking about that too.
Yeah.
Where they hid like the cuts that they made in it, and I'm eager to watch this movie.
Mm-hmm. I understand why The Irishman's on there, and I definitely can tell why The Lighthouse is on there. This is actually a pretty good list of movies that do actually deserve to be on here for cinematography.
Yeah, most definitely.
Hands down, I think it's going to be 1917 on that one.
Yeah. So let's check out the chat. So we got 7 viewers in here right now. 5 likes. Oh, we're doing pretty good on this. I like this now. So yeah, I know. I can't talk.
You are bad with words.
We've got to get used to the live stream. So here's one of the things we're doing this time.
Oh, I'm fine.
Yeah. Our last live stream was pushing 3 hours. One of the things we're testing out this time is we're trying to condense this. We have this down to an actual outline.
I got the comfort juice.
Yeah, the comfy juice. Yeah.
Chill.
We're trying to compress this down. We have an outline on our board as usual.
Yep.
This time we have time codes of what we're trying to hit within these time frames. So let us know what you think of this. If this is an overall improvement, what do you think of this style as we try to grow these live streams a little bit more? Let us know.
We're also just wanting to be really chill with it too. There's definitely people that we've taken cues from, especially if you guys watch Ben and Drew's streams over on Action Industries. Those guys just have a great rapport with each other, and albeit we're brothers, so we should too. But those guys are just really super chill with their stuff, and that's the cue I want to take from it. Is just we're hanging out with you guys. We're just being relaxed. What goes down goes down. Hopefully we don't say stupid things.
We're going to.
Let's get this channel shut down.
That's the appeal of this channel so far. So there's a lot of people talking about 1917, and I know Kelsey, for one, saw 1917. She saw 1917 back in November.
I think she was watching it during our first live stream.
Yeah. So she's definitely has a leg up on us on this movie. So. But I talked to her this weekend, and she really likes that movie. So I'm super eager. I actually have coworkers that saw it, I think, last night, and they said it was really good. Yeah. They're not big movie fans, I would say. They do like going to the movies a lot, but they really enjoyed that movie. So I'm super eager for this movie.
Yeah, it sounds like it's gonna be really good.
So we got Jeremiah said that he put in a Streamlabs. Oh, let's see.
I'm not sure if we have it set up to where it's actually going to pop on the screen or not.
Oh, there we go. Yes. It did come through. Testing is the best non-nominated channel. From Jerry Jedi 1994 donated $2. Yes, so it did come through. This worked. Oh, okay, I see. So it's actually showing us also with Super Chat.
Yeah, it shows us all the Super Chats on Streamlabs. So we're, again, first stream that Super Chat's working for us, so we're learning as we are going on this.
Yeah, so again, you're free to do Super Chat on YouTube here. YouTube takes 30% of that. Streamlabs does not. So donate over to Streamlabs if you would like. We now I know what it looks like. We will see your comments on here.
We definitely encourage you to do Streamlabs more than YouTube because they don't take that cut. But again, you are absolutely welcome to do Super Chats if you're more comfortable with that. We're not going to turn away money.
At all. Ever. Because we're not stupid.
And neither does YouTube.
Yeah. So, yeah, those options are still available if you want to go to Streamlabs. It is... There's a delay on here, so I don't know. Oh, yeah, I can look at that camera.
Yeah, it's up there.
Anyways, moving on with the Oscars. Best Adapted Screenplay. So these are screenplays that were based off a book or a previously written screenplay or some other form of print.
Yep.
Jojo Rabbit, Little Women, Two Popes, Joker, and Irishman. Joker, the thing with Joker is it's kind of questionable is because pieces of Joker, it wasn't really adapted from any one story, but it's taken cues from previous stories. One of the major ones is going to be The Killing Joke.
Yeah, it's adapted from just a lot of different like appearances. It's just adapted from the character of the Joker in general.
Yeah.
It's not even really just like there's a specific story this whole movie is taking off of. So I mean, it's kind of loose being able to call that adapted, I would think. Now, granted, here's the thing. From these, the only one I know that we have definitely seen outside of Joker is Jojo Rabbit.
Mm-hmm. Which that movie was fantastic.
I really feel like I should be confident in saying it should be Jojo Rabbit on that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Real quick, Garth McMurray, remember Cinefanatics at Streamlabs. You know, here's the thing. If someone's smart, they would start Cinefanatics on Streamlabs just to incur that money. Now that Garth has said that.
Yeah, thanks for saying that on a stream.
Oh, okay.
You're giving people ideas. Good job.
Yeah. Jojo Rabbit was really good. I can see that one potentially getting it. Little Women is based off... I can't remember who wrote the book. I want to say it's Louise May Alcott.
Ladies and gentlemen, somebody starts saying something when they don't know how to finish the thing that they're saying.
No, and I'm perfectly okay with not
call
knowing.
you out on that every single time.
That's fine if you would like to. Just know that I'm perfectly okay with not knowing, because I'm not going to look it up right now this second, but I'm almost certain that someone in the chat will and will let me know.
Garth said, done. Don't you do it, Garth. Don't you do
Stop it, Garth.
You stop that nonsense.
I think it's Louise May Alcott who did Little Women, so someone in the chat feel free to correct me. See, that's how you do it. You say, someone in the chat feel free to correct me, and therefore the chat is engaged with you.
Gotta be honest, don't read that much. Mostly movies.
I don't
like
either.
Makuga. I put down the book and pick up the remote as long as the remote is turning on a movie.
Louise May Alcott, you got points. Thank you, Garth. Thank you.
Garth
yeah, just knowledge of pop culture in general. There's things that I don't even know if they connected, and I just happen to remember they do. So yeah, that's who I thought it was. Two Popes, I'm not familiar with that, and Irishman, as far as I knew, that was the original story that Scorsese just came up with, but apparently not.
Nope, it is definitely no. It's it's a true story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's based on a true story, so yeah, it's definitely adapted.
Well, that true story took 3 hours to tell.
4, almost 4,
almost 4. So between going based off of what we know, here's the thing: Little Women, I know, is very beloved story. Mm-hmm. It's gotten a lot of acclaim. But between the two of those, the two that we've seen, Jojo Rabbit and Joker, I have to kind of go with Joker. I really did love that interpretation of the story of that character. So, original screenplay, we've got. Let me see. Yeah, we're doing good. Original screenplay, we got 1917, Marriage Story, Parasite, Knives Out, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So out of all those, the two that we've seen is Knives Out and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Here's the thing for me. I think based on what I hear, again, Parasite's one of those that we haven't seen yet that I really do want to see. Mm-hmm. From what it sounds like, I feel pretty confident in saying that Parasite's probably going to run away with almost everything that it's nominated for. It's going to end up being like we said before, not on stream, it's going to be like the Roma this year. And partly because, yes, it's another foreign language film, or as they're calling them this year, international film with subtitles. But, I mean, that's the thing that they have in common. But, yeah, from what I heard, it's really good.
Yeah. Which so was Roma.
Yeah.
You and Makuga's opinion aside, Roma was really good.
Oh, yeah. What do you mean? I honestly, I started it. I haven't finished it. Makuga watched it all, so he can have an opinion. I can't really have an opinion of Roma because I didn't finish it.
Yeah. Roma was really good. I'm really happy that was nominated for Best Picture last year because it was a joy to watch.
I just got 8 minutes in, and I was like, "Ooh, not tonight. Not tonight for me."
Yeah. So out of these that are original, again, Knives Out and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood we've seen. I'll bring this up again probably a little bit later, but Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I don't think that was Tarantino's best work. It was a good movie. It was highly enjoyable, but not quite Tarantino's best.
It was fun. I liked it. I really did like it. But, yeah, I mean, it's not... You're not going to look back on Quentin Tarantino's career and of his highlights go... Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was one of his major highlights.
Yeah. Knives Out. So what Rian Johnson did with Knives Out was pretty close to an Agatha Christie novel.
A modern Clue.
Yeah. Sorts. Well, between the movie Clue, I don't know why Clue in there.
Clue.
Clue. Yeah. But between Clue and Hercule Poirot type movies, that was very well done. It was very well written.
You can say Hercule Poirot, but you can't say Clue.
I know, that's really weird. So I love Knives Out. I love the way it was written. I love the way it was done. I would say out of that category we've seen, Knives Out has my vote easily.
It's a hard one because, again, like, we're going to see 1917 tomorrow. Marriage Story is available on Netflix to see. Kelsey says she saw Marriage Story, so she could probably chime in the chat as to whether or not that deserves that screenplay award or not. But yeah. So what were those again?
Scrolled away. For the screenplay, 1917, Marriage Story, Parasite, Knives Out.
Of the two that we saw, yeah, I would definitely want to give it to Knives Out. Mm-hmm. But again, there's three of those. I think Parasite probably will actually run away with, again, most of the awards that it's up for.
And again, we're going to do like a pre-Oscar show, so by that time, my intention is to have seen a lot of these movies, so I can better speak upon this, and I'll have a better, more wide range.
And my intention is to be as close as humanly possible for me.
Yeah. So I will say this, I will have at least seen all the best pictures, at least the best pictures by that time.
I will have seen movies.
I did it for the first time last year where I saw all the best pictures before the awards, and that was a blast to do, and I'm eager to do it again. Directors.
Ooh, it's a big one.
Bong Joon-ho for Parasite.
Bong Hoon?
Don't ask.
Did you put
don't.
Did you put an N on the last name there? Hoon?
Bong
Joon-ho.
That one.
Bong Joon-ho.
You know, I'm honestly trying here.
Hoon is one O and there's no N.
You gotta stop giving me.
Never.
People in the chat, feel free to fill in the word that I'm thinking here, but stop giving me
poopy
about stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm never gonna do that.
Did you say poopy?
Yeah.
God. Quentin Tarantino, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Todd Phillips, Joker. Scorsese, The Irishman. Sam Mendes, 1917. Here's the thing. I have a feeling that if you don't give that award to Scorsese, some mafia man's gonna put a horse head in your bed. Which I know, granted...
Take you right to the mattresses.
Yeah, which I understand. Scorsese did not direct The Godfather, but it's just a good...
Francis Ford Coppola?
Yes. But it's a good, mafia reference to make, in which Scorsese is good at crime, mafia-type drama stories, right. So for director at that, here's the thing. There's only two of those that we've seen, Joker and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I love Quentin Tarantino. I feel like he should get the award every time he's nominated. But what Todd Phillips has done with this, Todd Phillips was known for doing The Hangover and Old School and Due Date. And he did The Joker, and that was a phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
For him to be able to do that, that was amazing. And real quick, Jeremiah says he's got to hit the sack. Have a good night. Good night, Jeremiah.
Later, Jeremiah.
Thank you for coming to hang with us.
Yep.
But for Todd Phillips to be able to pull off doing the Joker, phenomenal.
Yeah, the thing about this is that I look at this list, and the key is, again, we're going to talk about snubs here in a little bit, and this list definitely has some snubs in it, especially considering they've raised the Best Picture limit to 10 Best Pictures years ago. Don't always nominate up to that point, which is ridiculous. But they haven't raised the director limit also. And usually, more often than not, the person who wins director, that picture also wins Best Picture.
That's usually a safe bet.
Typically. In this case, I would say that these 5 directors do deserve to be on a list of 10.
Yeah.
A list of 10 directors. Put all 5 of them on there. But since we only have 5, there's definitely some issue I take with some of these being over other directors who probably also deserve to be recognized for some of the work that they've done. Again, we'll talk about that in the snubs.
Yeah, if they could increase that, there's definitely, at least I know of one in the snubs, just based off of word of mouth from what I heard, should be a part of this list.
Yeah. As far as this list goes, though, based on who I think wins, I don't think Todd Phillips is going to win for that.
No.
And I definitely don't think and we'll get to that, but I definitely don't think Joker's going to win Best Picture. So I don't think Todd Phillips is going to get Best Director. He did great. He deserves to be nominated for it. Absolutely. Again, I go back to it, though. Everything that Parasite is up for, they're going to run away with. And I think Bong Joon-ho... See, you got me doing it now. Because you said it, now it's on me. Bong Joon-ho is going to get the director award for that.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to call out Kelsey dropped $10 in the Streamlabs. Thank you, Kelsey. She says, great hanging out with you guys this weekend. It was fantastic hanging out with you. Thank you for allowing us to put our stuff in your car because we were rushed coming from the airport.
Here's the thing.
That helped out immensely.
Very grateful for that.
Yeah.
Also, one of the reasons why we're never going to fly out the same day as an event ever again.
Yeah.
Always day before from now on. That way we don't have this issue with the hotel where we can't load our stuff up.
Here's the thing. My opinion, based off the two that we've seen for directing, I'm going to have to give it to Todd Phillips over Tarantino.
Of those two.
But over what I know eventually I'm going to see, I will preemptively call it out right now. I'm probably going to give it to Sam Mendes.
Really?
Because I know what... Again, 1917 was essentially filmed as one long take. It's not really one long take.
Kind of like can be filmed that way.
Kind of like Birdman was supposedly one long take as well. But, I mean, there's definitely cuts in there. But to be able to take on something like that is extremely hard.
Yeah.
Extremely.
Matt says Ben Affleck didn't get the director award and Argo did win Best Picture. Maybe he should have gotten the director award. I can't remember who won director for that year, but yeah, I mean, it does happen. It's very rare that the Best Picture also isn't the best director too. I mean, you look at you looked at last year with Roma.
Alfonso Cuarón.
Alfonso Cuarón got Best Director and got Best Picture.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he got Best Director. Anyway. We're going to say that he got Best Director for the sake of this live stream.
Yeah. So, yeah, that takes us with that. Checking out the chat again. By the way, this whole thing of where we're trying to stick to a certain time is working out beautifully so far. I think we're doing pretty well with this. Yeah,
roughly.
We're still on time with all of this, so I'm enjoying this.
But that being said, let us know if this is actually enjoyable. Also, if you guys are having fun watching it in this way. Because if we're sticking to a schedule, but it's still kind of like, I don't like the way they're doing it, or
we might be a little rushed.
We might be a little bit rushed or something, then let us know. You can be honest with us. If you think it sucks, tell us it sucks.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you're going to tell us it sucks, please send a super chat or a Streamlab with that message. Yeah,
so... yeah, let us know by super chat and Streamlabs. That definitely gets attention right
Here's
there.
Here's $20. Your live stream sucks. Noted. Absolutely no.
I want to see someone do that. Just straight up. Your stream sucks. Here's $1,000.
Dude, if Jake was here, Jake would do something like that. He would give a donation and write, "This live stream sucks." And I would appreciate him for that.
And then he would call us by the wrong name.
Cinefanatics, guys.
You know what? You can call us whatever you want at that point.
You can call us Shirley. We don't care.
Yeah. Don't call me Shirley.
No, you can call us Shirley.
Yeah.
Don't call us Shirley.
Anyways, let's check over. Okay. And so as far as the Oscars go, we're going to get into like some of the more key ones. That being the acting. So
supporting and acting.
Best performance by an actress in a supporting role. We got Florence Pugh for Little Women, Laura Dern, Marriage Story, Scarlett Johansson, Jojo Rabbit, Kathy Bates, Richard Jewell, Margot Robbie for Bombshell.
This is about one of, if not the only award I think Richard Jewell is actually up for.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy if you think about it.
Kind of, yeah. Which we might touch upon that here in a little bit as well.
But, yeah, from what I hear, Laura Dern nails it in Marriage Story. Margot Robbie, that's interesting that Margot Robbie is up for this and they didn't go with Nicole Kidman instead. But the two that I personally think absolutely probably deserve to be on here. One, Florence Pugh. Like, I haven't seen Little Women yet, but honestly, like, Florence Pugh's been having a year. Yeah. And she absolutely deserves to be on this just specifically on the year that she's had.
Her performance as Paige in Fighting with My Family was fantastic. You didn't see Midsommar because you don't like horror movies.
Oh, heck no. I'm not going to watch that movie.
Her performance in Midsommar was really good. Like I was on the edge of my seat just watching what her character was going through in that, and that was insane.
I'll tell you what, though, the one on there that I personally would love to win is Scarlett Johansson. honestly, one, because we saw Jojo Rabbit. Two, I loved her in that movie. I thought she was fantastic in Jojo Rabbit.
She didn't. I don't feel like she did that much because the movie was pretty much centered on JoJo and what's her name, the girl that was in hiding.
Yep.
But it was focused on them primarily, and like Scarlett Johansson's character just came in. I felt like for a couple of like comments, like support essentially. Oh, look, supporting role. Go figure.
No, she was fantastic.
But she was good.
I think she was really good. The question is, I like what they do here. Do you split the difference between Scarlett Johansson and the young lady who played the Jewish girl in hiding in that movie?
See, I think
she was fantastic.
I think she should have gotten that. Because she was phenomenal. Between her and JoJo, I think she should have gotten that nomination as well.
But at the same time, like Scarlett Johansson's performance really resonated. I loved her because she was playing JoJo's mom, and her performance was just like, there was just something about it that I just loved so much. Like she was a sarcastic, witty mother, and I loved it. And you can tell whether or not I used mother in the term of actual mother or other ways, but other mothers. Her role was I just loved her role in Jojo Rabbit. So personally, I want her to win it. But that being said, she probably won't. She's up for a couple. So she's up for 2 awards.
And here's the thing: we're probably a little biased on that because of all those movies. Jojo Rabbit's the only one we've seen so far.
But from what Kelsey says,
Margot has 2 scenes in Bombshell that makes me feel she deserves it. They are incredible. I am eager to see Bombshell.
So Margot's got 2, and then she also. Where did it? Oh, yeah. Okay, so Matt Graham said Laura Dern will get the win.
Which reminds me, and one of the things I'm kind of kicking myself now that I'm thinking about it is it would also have been nice had we had the list of Golden Globe winners along with this, because typically the Golden Globes is a pretty good indication of who will be nominated and who will win in the Oscars. I mean, you got roughly almost the same kind of group of people.
Yeah,
it's not the same voters, the same people nominating, controlling it, but you get you kind of get that idea. So it's really good to have that list as well, which I believe Laura Dern won that category, if I remember correctly. Again, someone in the chat, feel free to correct me. That's why we have a chat. But I believe Laura Dern won the Golden Globe for Marriage Story, which I'm eager to see that as well.
Yeah.
Which I know it's on Netflix. All I got to do is just go watch it.
It's hard here because I think there sounds like there's a lot of hype around Laura Dern, in which case, Laura Dern would probably be the one to walk away with it. At the same time, man, I love that Florence Pugh's on this list. She had such a... This was her breakout year, and for her to be up for an award already, perfect.
Yeah.
Go for it.
And I'm eager to see her in Black Widow.
Yeah.
Her as Yelena Belova, the blonde Black Widow, essentially from... Ooh, that's some good beer. From the comics.
Blonde Black Widow.
All right, Christian. Burp. Her playing that role is phenomenal. Right. I absolutely love that acting.
Yeah, she's going to be killing about everything she does. She's going to have such an awesome career.
Yeah. So out of those, again, we're probably saying Scarlett Johansson again. That's the only one we've seen.
For our favorite.
But I can't wait to revisit this after we've seen more of these movies.
Yeah.
So real quick, we got Lucas Shashek is joining us in the chat.
Hi, Lucas.
What's up, Lucas? Good hanging out with you this weekend. How was your head on Sunday?
Sir, you can kill me anytime.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And again, something else I feel like we have to call out. Hanging out with the call to action people is a blast. Those people know how to party and have a good time.
I will never stop saying that Lucas is my favorite call to action member, and he can say till he's blue in the face that he's not part of call to action. I don't care. I don't care.
You're going to feel the wrath of Alex off of that one.
Yeah, also, Danny's probably actually my favorite because she's from Texas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
And I like Kelsey because she let us put her stuff in her vehicle.
You know what? They're all my favorites.
I can't pick just one. I have an easier time picking out who I think's going to win an Oscar here than I do having to pick out.
He said my head on Sunday was horrible.
Ooh, I bet, dude. Whew. Yeah, so was mine. Not enough water.
Yeah.
So,
Real quick, Oscar Romo joined us. He said, "Hi everyone, hi Oscar," and he also dropped a super chat. I ate food with those guys. Cheers, guys. Yes, he did. We ate some. So apparently, I am a wing champion now.
yeah.
I'm a champion of eating wings. Also, I'm gonna say the reason why I'm a wing eating champion in this case.
Because I don't recall this conversation.
Yeah, I don't think you were at the table at that time. Is because, let's be honest, I had a pastry on the way to the airport that morning.
Oh, yeah.
And then because it wasn't dropped on Christian until the very last minute that the Comedy Store wasn't going to serve food, I didn't have a single thing of food.
A single thing?
A single thing of food.
single thing of food.
A single thing of food until...
I say, boy. You sound like what's-his-face from Knives Out.
Yeah.
Who was doing his best... I'm
going somewhere. Okay.
I can't stop
Enough
doing
with
it.
that.
Foghorn Leghorn impression.
Yes, got it. Daniel Craig. Anyway.
Yes, that guy.
I didn't have a single thing of food until we got to what was it? The ranch, Saddle Ranch. In which case I plowed through that plate of wings like it's the first meal I had since ever.
So if you ever come to Austin, we have a really popular wing place called Pluckers. It's spreading. It's currently spreading throughout Texas.
It's a great place, but I don't recommend trying to bring anybody there when you're trying to have a one-on-one conversation with them.
Ask Jake. That's right. We took Jake there.
Yeah, C2A. Ask Jake about that.
Yeah. So really good wings, and because of that place, I am a dynamite force at wing eating, which I have taught the younger protege.
Don't act like every single thing I do that's good is from you. I've learned how to eat wings on my own.
Yeah, okay. So...
I'm the older brother.
So, Kelsey says she needs a groupie. You've got groupies, Kelsey. We'll be your groupies.
Wait. We need to talk about this first. Can we define what groupie means in this case? Because I'm not willing to commit to all sorts of stuff here.
It's a family-friendly channel. We'll keep it at that. Family-friendly groupies. That's what I mean.
Family-friendly groupies.
Yeah. So, moving on to actor in a supporting role, because we're still talking about this, apparently.
Yeah.
Al Pacino, Irishman, Brad Pitt, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I need to find a way to shorten that, because that's going to be a long mouthful to say all the time.
Hollywood.
Hollywood, yes. In Hollywood. Tom Hanks, Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Hopkins, Two Popes, and Joe Pesci, Irishman.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks is going to get that.
Now, here's the thing. That's who I really want to get that.
I don't feel like I need to see the other movies. The point is that was...
Joe Pesci and Al Pacino are both up for the Irishman, though.
But I get that. But here's the thing to point out is Tom Hanks played Mr. Rogers. He played Fred Rogers in a movie that was essentially about Fred Rogers. It was actually about the reporter doing the interview with Fred Rogers, so therefore he was supporting in that. Tom Hanks gets that.
Here's the thing.
He nailed Fred Rogers.
He did a really good job.
Weird phrase to say.
Yeah. Family Channel.
Yes.
Yeah, here's the thing. The Won't You Be My Neighbor documentary last year was the biggest snub of the Oscars last year.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest snub. And so I'm wondering, hey, should we try to cover our tracks a little bit and maybe give the award to Tom Hanks for portraying Mr. Rogers? It should be like, let us recognize Mr. Rogers is a fantastic human being, and we need to give some kind of award towards Mr. Rogers things. We didn't give it to Won't You Be My Neighbor last year. So that's why in this case I think maybe Tom Hanks is actually probably the front runner, but it's hard to say because you got both Al Pacino and Joe Pesci up for Irishman.
Yeah. So real quick, Garth McMurray with the hilarious super chat.
Garth, what have you done?
Or not super chat, Streamlabs.
Garth, what have you done?
So he donated $1 to the "Here's a buck to buy some tissues to wipe away your tears when you realize you're just not that good, and I'm your sad, lonely, only fan. Everyone else is just showing you pity."
I can't read the rest of this. Read the rest of this.
I kid. I hope to meet you guys someday at a live Schmoedown. Thanks, Garth. Luckily, because Garth is such a huge fan of us, we're starting to get his humor. I understand.
And we'll let it slide that you only gave $1 on that and insulted us, Garth.
You know, here's the thing. If you watch SEN Live, all the best insults are $1.
They did one today where Christian was like, all right, that was $1. Okay, that doesn't matter. And then he had to go back and be like, I'm just kidding. It was a joke, guys. It's just a joke.
You know, here's the thing. They get like thousands of people to watch them. If 1,000 people donate $1, that's pretty good.
I would take that kind of money.
Yeah, I would not turn down $1.
We have 8 viewers, though, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah, so if 8 viewers donate $1, we'll have $8. Here's the thing. I still wouldn't refuse that.
Look, it's honestly, it's $8 for sitting in front of our camera and talking.
Yeah.
I will take it.
No,
we're going to be flat out honest. That's what Super Chats and Streamlabs are. It's money for us sitting here and talking and putting on a show.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
$1, any dollar, every dollar.
So,
perfectly welcomed.
Best actor in a supporting role, we're going to go with Tom Hanks. Based off of what we've seen so far.
I want it to be Tom Hanks, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's like Anthony Hopkins or one of the two guys from Irishman. But I think Brad Pitt actually won it for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So it really is anybody's game.
Yeah.
I want Tom Hanks, though.
Best performance by actress in a leading role. Charlize Theron for Bombshell. Renee Zellweger for Judy. Scarlett Johansson for Marriage Story. Cynthia... I've never seen this name before.
Cynthia Erivo.
Erivo
yes,
for Harriet.
You saw Bad Times at the El Royale.
Oh, was she in that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And Saoirse Ronan for Little Women. Here's the thing. I'm really proud that I know how to pronounce Saoirse Ronan at this point.
Yeah, you couldn't pronounce Erivo.
Well, I haven't seen that name before. But Saoirse Ronan, I remember we talked about her for Lady Bird, and that's really, I think, when I learned how to pronounce her name, because she was doing all the late night show circuit and telling everybody how to pronounce her name. So, yeah, Saoirse Ronan. Yeah. So out of that, again, we've only seen... Oh, okay, here's the thing.
You've seen
You
Judy.
haven't seen any of these movies yet. I've seen Judy.
I can only go based on what I hear from word of mouth.
And I know Renee Zellweger won the Golden Globe for Judy.
I honestly think Renee Zellweger is going to be the front runner here.
And I am completely okay with that. She did a fantastic job at Judy.
She was the front runner the second that movie came out.
She was a front runner the second the promo image of her as Judy Garland, like...
Yeah, sure, one up me. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes, that's what we do. We're brothers. But yeah, Renee Zellweger, easily by far. Again, I want to see the rest of the other movies, but yeah, Renee Zellweger as Judy Garland's got my vote. Best actor, Adam Driver, Marriage Story, Joaquin Phoenix, Joker, Leonardo DiCaprio, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Antonio Banderas, Pain and Glory, and Jonathan Pryce, The Two Popes. One thing I want to touch upon is we do have the precedence that you play the Joker, you win the Oscar.
Well, yeah, except for Jack Nicholson and Jared Leto.
Well, good point.
So we have the precedence that only one person has ever won for being the Joker.
In which there's a story
in a supporting role.
In which that was supporting in that movie, but there's a storied history behind Heath Ledger's role, not only in the fact that how he played the Joker, but the toll it really took on him mentally.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Joaquin Phoenix, I mean, I wouldn't doubt that playing that version of the Joker that he did may have taken a toll on him as well, but they didn't. It's kind of weird. It's really hard to compare Joaquin Phoenix's Joker to Heath Ledger's Joker, just because it's a difference of character.
Yeah.
And that character difference is based on the time frame that character's in. We saw Joaquin Phoenix at the beginning of Joker's life, while Heath Ledger was fully embracing the agent of chaos that Joker was. That being said, I would love to see Joaquin Phoenix walk away with that. And did he win the Golden Globe for that one? If you're in a chat, make sure to let us know. Let us know if Joaquin Phoenix won that. Adam Driver.
Globe? Yes, I think he did.
Okay. Adam Driver in Marriage Story. I know he's getting a lot.
I don't think he did. I know he did because he gave a speech.
Oh, that's right. The speech that was heavily censored. So, Leonardo DiCaprio, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Adam Driver's getting a lot of acclaim for Marriage Story, which, I'm eager to see that.
I hear Adam Driver was really, like... Scarlett Johansson was good, but Adam Driver was really, like, the one to carry that movie, essentially.
Again, I'm going to play off of a popular meme that's going around, but Adam Driver deserves an award just for carrying the entire Star Wars sequel franchise.
I don't fully believe that. He was really good in it. But, this one, I think, is going to be Joaquin Phoenix's to lose. Here's the thing. I've seen the trailer. I've only seen the trailer for Two Popes. Jonathan Pryce is, like, on top of his game from what I can see in that.
I like Jonathan Pryce, too, and... What's bad is I haven't really seen anything from him that is like outstanding, phenomenal, but the stuff I've seen him do is really good.
Yeah.
So, and I haven't seen anything about Pain and Glory, unfortunately. But if Antonio Banderas is nominated for an Oscar because of it, it's probably going to be something I want to check out.
Dolor y Gloria original title. So it is... I guess
the Spanish version of Pain and Glory.
Yeah, originated. That particular one is originated from, I'm assuming, Mexico in this case.
He did win the Globe. Okay, yeah,
could be just assuming though. Yeah, so I think this is going to be Joaquin Phoenix's one to lose. And then we are going to be getting into snubs later. There's a definite snub in that category. I definitely want to talk about.
So. Again, we want to kind of like dive into the chat, see what's going on. And we're doing pretty well as far as hitting our time codes. I am going to use this, like, let's check out the chat to refill the beer as well.
You do the thing, I'll check out the chat. Garth McMurray says, and Cesar Romero. So you were just completely wrong in that statement.
Well,
fill your glass. That's fine.
Cesar Romero was more for the TV.
But they made a movie.
Ish. Yeah.
Ish. It was a movie. Let's see.
Cesar Romero gets it just for cleverly hiding his glorious mustache.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
I have to reiterate that because I don't know if they can hear me on the microphone from way over there.
Cesar Romero gets it for cleverly hiding his glorious mustache. Yeah, here's the thing. I think they probably should have taken a cue from that for Superman and Justice League. Just a thought.
They would have hid the mustache better.
And they would have hid the mustache better, yeah. Kelsey says Two Popes is really good. So I want to say that one was a Netflix movie. I can check that out on Netflix also. So I need to... I feel like I want to look at that too. Because, I mean, you can't go wrong with Jonathan Pryce and Anthony Hopkins.
Here's the thing I want.
And they both kind of look like the Popes that they're representing too.
Here's something else I want to do real quick. I kind of want to call out Kelsey on this because I followed her. I'm following her on Facebook, in which she's been doing a good job of not only watching a ton of movies, but she's posting, I'm watching this movie, I'm watching this movie. She's been plowing through some movies.
She's doing more than I could do in a day.
Definitely. That is like gladiator level movie watching right there. So good on Kelsey for being able to do that.
Yeah. That's impressive. I really wish I could just take a day and just plow through a bunch of movies also.
Here's the thing I'm interested in. If Kelsey's able to plow through those movies, I would like to see if Call to Action can do maybe make Kelsey someone who's like an opinion person to give opinions on all these movies that she watches all the time. Like, here's Kelsey's opinion corner. Kelsey's corner or something.
I'm not laughing at what you were saying.
Yeah.
Lucas said, honestly, it would have been less jarring in Justice League if he just randomly had a mustache in some scenes.
You know what? That's the thing.
I would have loved that.
I watched...
that would have actually leaps and bounds improved that movie.
There was I think it was like the Justice League cartoon from like the 90s, 2000s, whatever. That there was an episode where Superman was shaving, and he shaved by looking at himself in the mirror and using his laser vision, bouncing off the mirror to shave like the side of his... Oh, really? You got to bring her into this?
Here she is.
So if some of y'all haven't seen the Cinefanatics, or however you pronounce that, this is Lola. This is my cat. that I've had her. I think she was born 2005.
Not want to stay.
So she's an old cat,
She's elderly.
She's an elderly cat, but man, she is spry and won't shut up when I'm trying to sleep in the wee morning of the hours.
All that cat hair everywhere.
Wee hours of the morning.
Oh, look, there she is.
Yeah, I love that delay.
The delay just popped up. She just now popped in. Okay.
I watched Raging Bull today. Forgot to post. Ooh, Kelsey, like seriously.
Oh man. Like you were saying, I'm absolutely impressed by Kelsey's stamina, essentially, to go through all these movies so quick. Like, this is my year of catch up, and I really want to take like several, at least one day a month maybe, and just plow through a bunch of movies in each of those days.
So here's the thing, and here's another thing I want to touch upon that I want people to hopefully follow on. We have just recently discovered Letterboxd. I am on Letterboxd, Robert Adams MLP. You are still building yours up. I've kind of gone through mine and
I've made it through a decade.
Yeah, I've gone through mine and I've pretty much solidified. I might catch a movie here and there on Letterboxd that I've seen that I haven't notated yet, but for mine at least, for the most part, is almost every single movie I've ever seen, and I've already got them out there.
Yeah.
So make sure you follow me on Letterboxd, Robert Adams MLP. Go through the list of movies that I've seen and how I rated them. The movies I haven't seen, you can pretty much see that.
The thing I really hate about Letterboxd is there's a lot of classics and really big movies that I haven't seen yet. And running a channel called Cinefanatics, I don't really want it kind of out there that I haven't seen some of these movies yet.
Well, this is the fuel to go see those movies.
Yeah, but I don't have time. So the problem is, my Letterboxd isn't effective just yet.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. You got to put it out there. There's movies I haven't seen. I haven't seen Raging Bull.
Neither have I.
I haven't seen Goodfellas.
Neither have I.
I put those out there
Please
on
stop
Letterboxd.
listing movies.
Yeah. So I put those out there. Go follow that.
I'm way too honest.
Let me know if there's any movies that you recommend that I haven't seen. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you're actually able to see publicly the movies that I have on my watch list that I want to watch.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have a ton of movies on there. So recommend something on there if you can. Let me know. Let's move on to Best Picture of the Year.
Yeah, because we got to knock this out, and then we're going to jump into those snubs.
For those of you following along, we do have planned to be done with this live stream by midnight. We're not gonna carry on beyond that. We might actually be shorter than that at this point. But Best Picture of the Year, we got.
Dang it, Garth! Schmoedown managers, take note. Draft these guys.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I can know about movies without having seen a lot of them.
Yeah, and a lot of my knowledge comes from that as well. Again, we'll talk about this here in a little bit.
Yeah.
Best Picture of the Year, 1917, Jojo Rabbit, Little Women, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Irishman. I don't know why I accentuated that. Irishman. Ford versus Ferrari.
Oh, the Irishman.
Joker, Marriage Story, and Parasite. So out of all of those, we've seen 4. We've seen
Once Upon a Time.
4 out of 9.
Scroll back up. Once Upon a Time, JoJo, Joker, Ford vs. Ferrari. Yeah. And we're about to see 1917.
We're going to see 1917 tomorrow night. I will see every single one of these movies before the Oscars come out.
I love that JoJo made it onto this list.
I do too.
There was no way that I was expecting that to happen. The fact that Jojo Rabbit is on this list is so impressive. I love that it's on this list.
Ford versus Ferrari was really good. Yeah. When I heard that movie was being made, I was not expecting that movie to be that good. I'm like, okay.
I was expecting to be a run-of-the-mill kind of
I don't
biopic.
know car racing. Here's the thing. Here's a testament to that movie. I didn't know what Le Mans was. I'm a person who really loves pulling in movie knowledge.
Lucas, we're Central. We're Central time.
Yeah. Yeah. Not necessarily movie knowledge. I like pulling in knowledge, period. Yeah. I watch at work. I watch Jeopardy on my lunch breaks, not only to play, but to learn. I will never stop learning in my entire life. I didn't know anything about Le Mans. I didn't know about this race. I think I've maybe heard of it before, but I didn't know what it was or the aspects behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And Ford versus Ferrari not only teaches you what Le Mans was, it makes it easy, simple, and now all of a sudden you're a fan of Le Mans. And you are a fan specifically of this particular race where Ford Motor Company decides to build a vehicle that could challenge Ferrari, who has been winning Le Mans. So it's not just the fact that you're talking about 1960s car racing. Mm-hmm. You're also talking about the acting with Matt Damon and Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Who did a phenomenal job in that movie, especially Christian Bale. We'll talk about that again here in a second.
And you got James Mangold up as the director for that as well. I mean, I loved Ford vs. Ferrari. It was one of the best movies this last year, and it's kind of like one of those that flew under the radar and just hit that list, and nobody was expecting to. But I mean, you got a ton of big movies. Here's the thing: I love that Jojo Rabbit's on this list. It's not going to win, but I love that it's on this list. Joker, love that it's on this list. Not going to win. Love it that it's on the list, though. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Sure. Irishman? Sure. Marriage Story? That's actually really cool. Good that Marriage Story's on here.
If we're following what everybody is saying, I would not be surprised 1917 is going to walk away with this award.
I do think it's either between 1917 or, like I've been saying this entire stream, Parasite.
Yeah.
It's going to be between those. I almost would say it's probably going to be 1917, and that is without seeing it.
I was just based off of who I follow, what I read, what I see every day. I would say it's actually going to come down between 1917, Little Women, and Parasite. I've heard all three of those movies, people constantly saying this is the best movie of the year.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing to keep in mind. Now that we're done pretty much with all the Oscar nominations, Joker is up for 11 nominations.
That's huge.
If I remember correctly, that is the same amount of nominations that Titanic had.
That nobody could have predicted that, because I'm sitting here before Joker even is, in production. They announce it. We're working on a Joker movie. Why? Exactly. Why are we doing a Joker movie? Why are we doing a movie about the central antagonist of Batman? And this isn't going to have Batman in it? What's the point? Now it's up for 11 Oscars.
And it deserves every single one of those nominations.
What is this? It's crazy.
It's one of my favorite movies of the year, easily by far.
Yeah. I also love that Bradley Cooper is a producer on it, and his name is listed there.
Yeah.
That's hilarious to me. But I get it, Bradley Cooper and his attachment with Todd Phillips now since the Hangover movies. I understand why he's a part of it. Just shelling out anything Todd Phillips does at this point. What's interesting is that I wonder if The Irishman, because we didn't give The Irishman anything in our predictions here. So I wonder if The Irishman is actually going to walk away with anything. It's Martin Scorsese.
And I've heard word of mouth that a lot of people say Irishman is good.
It's good, but it's long.
But it's just long.
Yeah.
And some of these movies, there's movies on here, and I'll go back, I'll probably have to remember what they were. Ford vs. Ferrari. Here's a good example, actually. A movie that I thought was going to be kind of like dull. I didn't think, again, because I don't know anything about Le Mans car racing during the 60s, mm-hmm. I didn't think it was going to suspend my attention.
Yeah.
And it did. Irishman... Sustain, yeah. Irishman, I've heard it's not that good at sustaining that attention in most people.
I think Irishman's honestly going to be one of those where I'm going to have to start it and cut it down. Like, I know I've seen on the internet, people have done it to where, like, you break down The Irishman as if it was like 4 episodes of a TV show. That might be the way I have to go whenever I get around to actually watching it, is breaking it down between like 4 different episodes. Because there's no way that I see myself being able to hold my attention for 4 hours on essentially a gangster flick. That's not typically my style of movie. So I don't know. I don't know. But it would be interesting to see if it walks away with anything, given that the pedigree behind Martin Scorsese's name. Yeah. You also got pedigree behind Quentin Tarantino's name. I don't see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood walking away with Best Picture.
It's not going to win that, no.
It was good. I don't think it should get Best Picture.
No.
I would give Jojo Rabbit Best Picture over Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
And Joker.
And Joker.
And Ford versus Ferrari.
And we'll probably say the same for 1917 After Tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be 1917 or Parasite in this case.
So, Garth McMurray doing fact-checking for us. 3 films have won 14 nominations. All About Eve, with 16 categories available for nominations, won 6 awards. Titanic, 17 categories available for nominations, won 11 awards. Okay, I knew the number 11 was in there somewhere. La La Land, 17 categories available for nominations, won 7 awards. I mean, 6. Sorry.
You mother... Father, sister, brother.
That may have been done on purpose.
You little...
In-game is 3 hours, but feels like 2. Irishman is 3.5 hours and feels like 7. It's great but slow. Yeah, that room right over there.
Yeah,
You're in that room right over there. This is the layout of our apartment. Welcome to our live chat.
Why are you pointing out, like, nobody cares about where our rooms are at?
Well, like, any of these people are going to come over here except Jake if he was in the chat.
Jake is also... Jake, why aren't you in our chat?
Yeah, I know.
We miss you.
We're missing Jake in our chat.
Yeah.
No one's dropping F-bombs here.
This has been very family friendly. So, look, even Matt Graham has censored some of the stuff that he's been saying.
Thank you, Matt.
I love it.
So going back over here to Streamlabs, Lucas Shashek, I'm doing my part and Alex's part and 3 other people's part. $5. Lucas Shashek is doing 3 other people's part and he's dropping $5.
Lucas is one of my heroes.
Dude, Lucas is a blast to hang out with. Lucas was one of my favorite people to hang out with this past weekend.
I love Lucas because he wouldn't stop shouting at me.
And I love that. I love it when people shout at you.
And after I've had drinks, and he's had drinks, and everybody's had drinks,
it was a blast.
I like being shouted at.
Yeah, that was
not in that way. It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah. So Kelsey, I invited him. Lucas, Jake is tired and has been moderating live stream chats for late. Here's the thing.
I love that everyone's got Jake on their moderation.
You know what, Jake is the internet bouncer that you want. He is the person.
Yeah.
He's the person. Like with our interactions with Jake, I believe he's the type of person that if you're wanting to start some
mess.
That sounds good. That Jake will. You're out.
Just scared the cat. Good job.
Yeah, well, she's easily scarable.
It's actually true.
What are you eating off the carpet? You silly. What?
Stop. Put the camera on her.
I know. I need to put a camera on her.
I hope that was good.
She's gonna puke that up later.
Yeah, she definitely will. Brian Nussbaum says Ford vs. Ferrari is like the Black Panther at the Oscars, lack of acting, directing, but mostly technical stuff, and a Best Picture nom.
I don't know if I would call lack of acting because Chadwick Boseman was fantastic.
No, but he wasn't nominated.
Oh well,
he's saying the awards. Ford vs. Ferrari has the.
That's right. Because
mostly technical stuff and a best picture.
Because Black Panther wasn't nominated for any acting or directing.
Is
Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler needs like every directing nomination and award possible.
I want Ryan Coogler to get something. That is true. Ford Ferrari is kind of like Black Panther in that case. Let's see.
So that's going to be it for our Oscar talk right now.
If it makes you feel any better, Jake isn't chatting in Koi's live stream either. Well, neither are we.
Yeah.
What if we checked on Koi's live stream during our live stream? That'd be hilarious.
It's like a live stream inception.
It's a live stream within the live stream. I'm not actually going to do that because we've got a lot to cover.
Yeah.
And we still have to finish up our Oscar chat here.
So the next thing we want to cover that we're looking at is like snubs.
Oh my gosh.
Because there's a lot of snubs.
This is probably one of the biggest years for snubs. And now that we're talking about it real quick, Matt's been calling this out throughout the chat the entire night.
Peanut Butter Falcon.
Why is Peanut Butter Falcon not nominated for anything? It's got critical acclaim. It's got audience acclaim. It's probably one of the best movies of the year. It's still one that we've missed, and I can go pick it up from Redbox and watch it here pretty soon. And I will absolutely do that because I 100% want to see that movie.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous that it's not up for anything.
Here's the kicker with that. We could have seen it at South by during the premiere.
Yeah,
if we didn't get a chance.
Way too honest about that right now.
It's okay.
You should probably not talk about any of the other movies that we could have seen at South by that we didn't.
Book smart. We saw Us.
I said don't. Oh my god. Yeah, we saw Us.
Speaking of Us, Lupita Nyong'o.
Real quick, hold on. We'll get to Lupita Nyong'o. Eric Nerdchronic Rodriguez is here in our chat. He said, I need to see a handful of the nominees still for fun and other reasons now. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Big congrats to Eric Rodriguez, and we will get into that more here in a little bit, but big congrats to Eric Rodriguez for making the leap, so to speak.
I believe, if I remember correctly, Eric Rodriguez is going to be joining the Corruption team.
Ooh, spoilers!
Yeah. Again,
we haven't gotten into that yet. You're already spoiling things.
Sorry, I forgot we were going to warn you that spoilers were going to come before that. But
pretty sure that everybody in our chat, though, is okay with it.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
I believe everyone in our chat right now already knows.
But upon replay, we'll see. Anyway, yeah, big congrats to Eric Rodriguez for that. Lupita Nyong'o.
So, Lupita Nyong'o, unfortunately, did not get a nomination for Us.
Yeah, and that's a huge one for me, too, because she acted the mess out of that movie.
And she played a double role in that.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. Which, oh, God, that was hard.
I honestly was predicting after seeing that movie that she was going to be in the consideration for that at the end of the year. No, that's ridiculous that she's not in there.
And I mean, I'm jumping into the snubs already just because that you mentioned Lupita Nyong'o. I want to something.
You mentioned Lupita Nyong'o.
Oh yeah, one of the things I feel like we need to touch upon before we get into the snubs. Here's the thing: when you get into the subject of Oscar snubs, you're starting to kind of like teeter that line nowadays between why it was snubbed.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where we're going to start getting into socio-political type reasons potentially
like why some of the voters in the Academy aren't really considering some of the people who probably should be up for some of these awards.
There's
work to be done still, so to speak.
There's rumors, there's thoughts, there's feelings, there's opinions, all of the above that may lead to someone being snubbed for one reason or another.
Yeah.
Again, sociological, political, all of the above potentially happening. So, I mean, keep that in mind while we're talking about snubs because that's what everyone's doing.
Yeah, because that's the talk around Oscars. It's been the talk around Oscars for years now. You got to keep in mind that some people aren't up for awards. More than likely, it's, you have to get into somebody's head to really prove why they vote the way they vote. But more than likely, you call a duck if it looks like a duck. Some of the reasons some of these people aren't up for awards is for some nefarious reasoning. I do think that Lupita Nyong'o absolutely deserves to be in the talk for the Best Actress. So, under consideration why some people might not be up for certain things, the Oscars got some work to do still.
Yeah.
The Academy's got some work to do still.
Yeah.
Let's look at, since you're in the main actress, who else is in there? Awkwafina for The Farewell. That's a huge one, too. Awkwafina,
she got the Golden Globe for that, I believe.
Did she?
Did she?
Judy.
Those of you in the chat, let us know.
Well, I guess Golden Globe, it's under two. It could be under two different categories.
Yeah, because there's the drama and then there's the comedy.
Yeah, Farewell would be under drama, whereas Judy would probably be under comedy musical.
I think the other way around.
Was Judy not a not
Judy
musical?
wasn't a full-on musical. There were scenes where it was Judy Garland on stage performing like Judy Garland songs, but the movie itself was not a musical. But again, if you're in the chat, let us know. Feel free to correct us.
Yeah. So I mean, Awkwafina. Here's the thing.
The fact that we're saying that someone whose name is Awkwafina.
Yeah, not even spelled like the actual water bottle. But the thing of it is, like, you just watch the trailer to The Farewell, and you're like, dude, Awkwafina looks like she's pulling out the stops in this role. Like, I only saw her in Ocean's 8 before that. What other? Oh, she was in
Crazy Rich Asians.
Crazy Rich Asians also.
Which she did good in that also.
Both her roles in Ocean's 8 and Crazy Rich Asians were both very heavily comedic roles. And so she was almost on the verge of being typecasted, in my opinion. Like, is she capable of doing, something other than that? Well, yes, she is. And in The Farewell, you even watch the trailer and you can see it. She pulls out all the stops in that movie. So that is one I think definitely should have been recognized.
Eric and Garth are both saying she did win the Golden Globe. Garth is saying it was in the musical or comedy category.
Okay, so The Farewell was under musical.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I know there's comedic elements to that movie.
I think it was more. There was definitely probably more comedic elements to that than there was Judy.
Well, so
because there really wasn't any comedic elements to Judy.
I put Judy under that because of the musical side.
Yeah.
Not the comedy side. I would put La La Land under that. La La Land isn't a comedy; it's a musical.
Yeah. So,
is there any other like actresses?
Doesn't
kind of want to keep it kind of roughly keep it category by category here.
No, it doesn't look like really any other actresses to really touch upon. I mean, you could talk about maybe Nicole Kidman, but yeah. As far as actors go, we've got Robert De Niro, Irishman.
Which is ridiculous. Like, Irishman's up for so many awards, but not Best Actor.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
Eddie Murphy for Dolomite Is My Name.
And that's a huge one.
That was easily, like, the movie that is going to bring Eddie Murphy back to the forefront. And that is the movie, like, at first when I heard that we're going to make a sequel to Coming to America, I was like, really? But between Dolomite Is My Name, which I've seen, you saw like pieces of it. I saw
the beginning of it. I haven't finished watching it.
You saw pieces of it, the beginning of it when I was watching it. But between that and Eddie Murphy's performance on SNL,
fantastic
this past
SNL episode.
Couple of weeks or so, I am eager for Coming to America now.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Coming to America.
But the fact of the matter is that this is the movie that Eddie Murphy should have gotten a nomination for. His portrayal of a real-life person, essentially. And then just, like, why wasn't he up for that? Is it like a Netflix thing? Because Netflix is up for so many awards. That's not an excuse.
We're to the point now where Netflix is accepted as movie.
Yeah, for sure. But the fact that Eddie Murphy isn't up for anything is kind of a travesty in that case.
Other actors, Taron Egerton for Rocketman, which you haven't seen. I saw that,
but that's
he
a huge one.
He was fantastic, and I was thanking Taron Egerton for Oscar nomination back when that movie came out this past summer. I was already on the Taron Egerton train for that one.
And I think what we're discovering here as we mention these, as we go through this list, is that, yes, they absolutely need to raise the amount of people nominated, because when you're pumping out 10 to 15 nomination-worthy performances from all these movies, and you can only nominate 5, it gets a little bit rough because, I mean, yes, only one person is going to win, but man, you've got to throw together that list of people who absolutely deserve to be in the running.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like we need to like hand out participation trophies or what have you, but at the very least, like, look, these are the performances of all the performances throughout the year, and there's a ton of them. These 10 are the ones that absolutely stand out, and you've got to highlight 10 because there's a ton that deserve it.
Let me see. And so out of that, also Christian Bale, Ford versus Ferrari, easily deserves a
They
nomination.
need to have 10.
I feel like we're going to repeat ourselves here
They
in a
need
bit.
to have 10.
So Christian Bale did a phenomenal job on that. I love his role in that. Again, going into Ford versus Ferrari, not knowing anything about Le Mans, okay, so we're talking about a car race that's going to be carried by performances, and the performances carried that movie and kept me interested in a car race that I knew nothing about.
Yeah.
Christian Bale deserves 80% of, I would say, what do you call it? Words. 80% of the acclaim for that, for being able to do that. And of course, Matt Damon did phenomenal as well.
Yeah.
He was the other 20% I would refer to.
Matt Damon. Hey, do me a favor. Talk about the chat here for a minute. I'm going to take a quick break.
Oh, before we get into the other actor that was snubbed? Yeah, because he's going to want to be a part of this one. Matt and Caleb talking about, I wish it was called Coming Back to America. You know, here's the thing. That would make too much sense. This is what happens when my brother leaves me alone. I'm left to holding down the fort with puns. That was a really good beer he drank too. I mean, these are really phenomenal. So Coming Back to America, that would be pretty good. I don't like the Coming to America that they're doing, but Garth, I think Dolomite Is My Name is better biopic than The Irishman. I've watched Dolomite Is My Name, and unfortunately, and I need to correct this, I know. I'm not too familiar with Rudy Ray's history, especially his character of Dolomite. I know that was during like the 70s, like blaxploitation period, which I want to see. I do I do kind of want to pick up on stuff like that. Like Leprechaun Back to the Hood. Really? Yeah. Oh, that's right. They did do Leprechaun like in the Hood, and then they like followed that up with Leprechaun Back to the Hood. Like, seriously.
Talking about Leprechaun.
I know. Here's the thing. My brother just now came back from the bathroom just in time to hear me mention Leprechaun Back to the Hood. How did this conversation go from we were talking about Oscar award-winning films to, oh yeah, Leprechaun Back to the Hood? Eric Rodriguez brought it up.
There's no way that you're talking about Leprechaun Back to the Hood in an Oscar movie conversation. What is this nonsense?
It's Eric Rodriguez has got to start talking about every movie possible.
And that's fair. He should. He absolutely should.
I wish it was called Coming 3 America, just nonsensically to piss people off. I mean, I agree. That would actually kind of fit. If the movie was starting to skew more towards like the Leslie Nielsen, Mel Brooks spoof type of movie, absolutely.
That'd be perfectly fine too.
Yeah.
Where are we at on this?
So we're left to talk about who you and I definitely think was snubbed for Best Actor.
I'm like way too close to the microphone for that. Real quick, well,
you want to talk about that one?
Yeah, because then that's going to get into pictures also that were snubbed.
Okay, we could just.
And then we have one in effects that we need to talk about too.
Okay, so the last Best Actor to talk about that was snubbed that I can't believe Adam Sandler for Uncut Gems. Both of
that's my best Adam Sandler impression. That's
right after we got out of that movie. Both I asked him, I was like, how many times during that movie were you having to remind yourself that you were watching Adam Sandler? Constantly. I still don't believe that was Adam Sandler in that movie.
I do.
Even saying it back now, I'm like, no.
But it's like I said, I do believe that it was Adam Sandler in that movie because the character he was portraying doesn't seem like something that's too far out of Adam Sandler's wheelhouse. but at the same time, it's still a character that we've never seen from Adam Sandler before. So it is still different. It's not anything that we can relate to Adam Sandler. So, yeah, but Uncut Gems, that's got snubs all around. That isn't anywhere in conversation when you talk about Oscars. It's not up for actor, picture, or director.
The thing I like about that as far as the movie overall is the way it interacts with the audience. Because, I mean, you watch that, you as an audience member get that anxiety, yes.
Yeah.
You are engrossed in this movie. You are a part of it.
And you don't want to be a part of it.
And you don't want to be a part of it. But you bought the ticket, so you don't have a choice.
Well, I mean, you do.
You could go up and leave the theater, but you don't want to.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler was a major portion of why that movie was so phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I saw a thing earlier that was saying that, like, oh, so you didn't want to nominate Adam Sandler for Uncut Gems? Therefore, you as the general public, you're going to get Grown Ups 3. That's his revenge for you not nominating him. And while we're talking about Uncut Gems and Adam Sandler on social media, have you seen the take that the social media Twitter he did with Kathy Bates?
Yeah, I didn't see the tweet.
Oh my God,
I've heard about it.
This is so good. So if you haven't seen this, Adam Sandler tweeted out talking about how he was snubbed in the Oscars.
But Mama got it.
But Mama got it. Kathy Bates got a nomination for it. And Kathy Bates retweeted that and responded like, "That's okay, Bobby Boucher. Mama believes you should got it." You should, like, she did it completely in character as Bobby Boucher's mom from The Waterboy.
Those Academy folks are the devil.
Yeah, like, that was fantastic. I love that. And so, I mean, granted, Uncut Gems snubbed for Oscars all the way around, but the social media game on that, that was fantastic. So while we're going to talk into Best Picture and Director type of thing, I want to come back real quick before we get into all of those. Frozen 2, not nominated for acting or for animated.
Yeah, that's a
Frozen
huge one.
was one of the biggest movies.
There's a couple of them on there that I don't recognize. Really, actually, there's only one whose name I don't recognize, but from word of mouth, I could tell that everybody else who was in that pool of animated movies pretty much deserved it. Like, I hear Klaus was actually really good. Mm-hmm. Toy Story 4 made me cry, so I'm gonna vote for freaking Toy Story 4 to be in that, regardless of what anybody else thinks.
I do like that Klaus got a nomination and Lion King didn't.
Yeah.
Which was completely against what the Golden Globes did. I like the fact that at least Golden Globes called out Lion King for being animated.
Yeah, and, you know, here's the thing. Lion King, for me, only deserves an award based on essentially the art direction on it, the animation of it, but not for the actual movie itself, because very little of it was actually different from the 1994
It was
one.
Almost a shot for shot. They did a couple of...
they changed up a couple of jokes, essentially.
A couple of changes, which some of those made sense.
Some of the musical numbers, some of the jokes are different.
You can't see Timon doing the whole hula thing as the distraction, but what they did do with that, I actually really love what they did with that. And that was fantastic.
And they also really changed to Be Prepared from this intimidating song to more of like a spoken word type thing.
Which I hate, because Be Prepared is probably one of my favorite like Disney villain songs ever.
But you really can't fly with Gestapo hyenas in this day and age.
Well, yeah.
Unless you're doing like a Jojo Rabbit type thing where you're making fun of Hitler, you really can't fly with a bunch of hyenas marching Gestapo-like.
Today's not a good day to be a Nazi.
No, it's not.
I love that line.
It is not.
Especially at that point in the movie, that was fantastic. So, yeah, Frozen 2. The first Frozen was easily a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
And Frozen 2 did not get nominated.
They need to have more than 5 nominations.
Which, I've heard Frozen 2 really wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of it, or whatever its song is, I can't remember, achieving the same heights.
Let it go again.
Yeah.
Stop holding on to it.
I haven't heard it hitting that same kind of heights as the first one did, but, I mean, I've heard good things about Frozen 2. So best pictures. So again, uncut gems.
Two of them throw into here too.
Uncut gems for best picture.
Absolutely.
That was a really good movie, and the director, which was actually the Safdie brothers.
The Safdie brothers, yeah.
I want to go back and watch Good Time Now, which they also did with Robert Pattinson. That movie looked like a total mind.
And that's one of those that you need to see as you prepare yourself for Robert Pattinson portraying Bruce Wayne in Batman.
That's what I've heard. I kind of want to see that. But
because otherwise you're stuck with him from Twilight, and that's not a good comparison.
But as directors, I think being able to maintain that anxiety level that movie puts out is fantastic. Knives Out, again, best picture, best director.
Here's the thing. I liked Knives Out, but I can see why it's not in the best picture contention. Especially with all the other ones that are in there. Maybe if you raise it to 10, you might throw it in there, but they don't even have 10 in there this year, do they?
They have 9.
I didn't count. They have 9. Well, maybe, because I still would rather they throw Uncut Gems in there over Knives Out. I'm not necessarily big on Knives Out having to hit that best picture, but maybe director. I don't know. I'm kind of okay with Knives Out not necessarily getting either one. I know, apparently, I guess you feel a little bit different about that as well.
And I do want to go back before we get into easily the best picture snub. I want to go back and I do want to mention Greta Gerwig for Little Women. This is what we kind of touched upon earlier, where we were saying that if they would expand the best director, easily Greta Gerwig should get a nomination for Little Women.
Expand the directors, or at the very least, in my opinion, at this case, you take out Quentin Tarantino and replace him with Greta Gerwig.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, like we said, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is not necessarily Quentin Tarantino's best picture, and he could have directed that movie in his sleep, to be honest.
Again, even critical acclaim. I haven't heard too many critics being that eager for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
No.
I have heard critics being eager for Little Women.
Yeah, and I know that Greta I think she was recognized for Lady Bird, but she is someone who is really making a strong push in the directing category. Like, the movies that she's doing she's someone who is coming up and starting to be that name, at least as far as the female directors go. Maybe directors as a whole, to be honest, whose name being attached to movies is going to be a reason why you go see that movie, like a Christopher Nolan or a Martin Scorsese. So we're in a situation where it feels a little jarring that Greta Gerwig is not up for a director role for Little Women.
And, while we're on the topic, I think, of female directors, I actually probably, from what I've heard, I haven't seen it yet, but I would have liked to have seen, potentially, Olivia Wilde get a nomination for Booksmart, because I've heard a lot of critical acclaim for that as well. Yeah,
there's several female directors out there who probably should have gotten some kind of recognition of some sort in the nomination categories, so...
and then, of course, the biggest one that I feel like got snubbed pretty much out of almost everything except special effects was Avengers Endgame. Avengers Endgame made both of our number ones on our top 10 of 2019
So there's
list.
a slight Marvel bias here. We really enjoy those movies.
But the thing is regardless of what Scorsese says, you have to take these comic book movies at this point as cinematic achievements. They are, for Endgame specifically, you're talking about over 10 years of a saga.
22 movies later.
You've had all these movies building up to this pinnacle of Endgame.
It's a huge deal to be able to wrap up a storyline that's been threaded throughout 22 different movies, multiple franchises, essentially, wrapping up and culminating for at least the first part of Marvel's journey, wrapping up in this movie. It's never been achieved before cinematically to be able to do something like that, and it is in my opinion a huge snub that it's not up for Best Picture. Now I understand.
Also, the biggest grossing, the highest grossing movie ever.
I understand why some people don't include this in their conversation. And a big piece of it is if you're not watching all the Marvel movies, then Endgame isn't really the movie that connects with you as much as it might for some other people. In the same vein, though, like, you have to look at cinematic achievement. And Endgame has huge cinematic achievement. So, in that regard, I don't understand why it isn't up for Best Picture. I mean, you look at what they were able to accomplish, writing in the movie to be able to, again, culminate everything, directing to be able to direct that kind of an ensemble cast. I would say it's probably one of the largest ensemble casts outside of those hokey Valentine's Day or New Year's Day or whatever type movies. I mean, it's a huge deal. It is a huge cinematic achievement, and it absolutely deserves to be recognized in the Best Picture category. Well, at least in my opinion.
And you touch upon director Anthony and Joe Russo, not getting the director nomination for that. To be able to pull that many people from that many years of storytelling into one, and it's, again, I'm going to go back to the storyline, the fact that it's based off of the Infinity Gauntlet, which was one of comic books' best storylines. I love the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. The fact that they brought that to life on the live screen and Joe and Anthony Russo were able to successfully do that on live. No, I don't believe it's right that they got snubbed. That one I personally kind of take offense to.
Theme park ride aside, and I get it. It's a ride. It's a crazy, colorful ride. It's still a huge cinematic achievement. Still deserves to be in there.
And then there's no acting. You know how many people are in this dang movie?
Yeah, well, that's why there's no acting. You're going to split the difference between a lot of people. I know the big argument is for Robert Downey Jr.
Because I loved him 3,000 in that movie.
Okay. I know, the big push was for Robert Downey Jr. in at least in the supporting role. But, man, it's hard to really, like, who are you going to push for, like, the best actor? I understand why there's no acting for it. I would be much happier if it at least got, a picture nom.
Yeah.
Or a director nom.
So, Avengers Endgame, not really nominated for anything outside of special effects, which is what I expected before Monday rolled around. So, I'm not that... I'm not really that let down. That was my expectation, but that would have been great if they had gotten more.
Now that touches on, I think, what would be considered one of our final snubs. Side note: Mr. Hauser for Richard Jewell not getting a nomination. A lot of controversy behind that movie is probably the reason why there's not more nominations for that film, which is really sad. That controversy around a film is the reason that it's not nominated. That's beside the point. It's ridiculous. But
Richard Jewell is a movie that's made up because of, at the time, the press took it upon themselves to, slander an individual.
Yeah.
So the thing that it's really hard to take sides with that when you've got. The press is a huge, major part of... even us running this YouTube channel, we are essentially referred to as press. Not official, but running a YouTube channel, you're a part of the press talking about movies.
Sure.
Yeah, you are.
So, I think the last really big snub that, at least in my opinion, there is that Alita Battle Angel isn't up for best special effects, which I think is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because the effects on Alita herself are fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those, like, I forget that there's something wrong with her face.
There was a lot of that I believe she was CGI, but...
Well, yeah, sure, but while you're watching the movie, it completely transports you, and you forget, humans don't look like that. Humans don't have big old eyes like that. Regardless, my major opinion on that is that Alita is an incredible snub for special effects. And it might be recency bias because it came out super early this year, which, again, is also probably the reason why Us wasn't nominated for anything.
Yeah.
But that's not an excuse because Get Out was.
So Garth says the Academy clearly hates jewelry. They snub Richard Jewell and Uncut Gems.
This is why we want
Definitely.
Garth around always.
Yeah.
Garth knows. He hits those. He's hitting those.
So that's going to cover it as far as our Oscar talk on this. What did y'all think of the Oscars? What are y'all snubs? Let us know in the comments if you're watching this on a replay.
We're going to
Feel free
clip
to
this
drop
out. We're not going to clip this out.
We're not going to clip this out. We're not at the level that we need to clip out stuff yet.
We're not going to clip out in a 1 hour talk.
No.
1.5 hour
So
talk.
again, as far as like trying to hit time frames,
1 hour
we're doing
and
pretty good.
45-minute talk.
Again, if y'all have any questions, comments, thoughts, and opinions, drop those Streamlabs or Super Chats. Let us know what you think about it. I don't know why I'm waving my hands like I'm a 90s rapper.
Yeah, I'm Fred Durst.
That's not a rapper.
Give it all for
The Nookie.
Nookie.
Yeah. So make sure you drop those.
Yeah.
All of the... Oh, God. All of that helps us out incredibly.
Yeah.
Because we are desperately trying to grow the show. Maybe not desperate. Okay. Maybe not desperately, but we would like to grow this channel as far as stuff that we want to do. So.
Broke.
So, anyways, we're going to start transitioning this. We're going to start talking about Schmoedown.
Yeah, okay.
I know a lot of people in the chat right now are very familiar with the Schmoedown.
Pretty much everybody in the chat is familiar with the Schmoedown.
People in the chat that are a part of the Schmoedown, I get that. If you are watching this on the replay and you don't know what the Schmoedown is...
Eric clipped that one. I'm Fred Durst.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably not.
Feel free to use that clip, Eric, whenever we eventually wind up on the Schmoedown. Like, that would be great for the promo.
No,
would it?
No. Why are you? You're not allowed to talk for the rest of the stream now. Good Lord.
I'm starting to understand why we didn't get drafted.
Great tagline. Cinefanatics. We're desperate. Thanks, Garth. Thanks.
I mean,
Cinefanatics. We're desperate. We're not bitter.
no.
No, let's talk about the awards. So we're going to get into the awards and the draft.
Again, if you haven't seen it yet, because I don't think
most of y'all here have been spoiled at least through Twitter or the Facebook group. So probably all of you here live with us in the chat right now don't care too much about spoilers. But for some reason, if anybody who pops in right as I'm saying this right now or watches on replay doesn't want to be spoiled quite yet because the videos haven't dropped.
Still have not dropped.
Have they not dropped? Has
They
the
have
awards
not dropped yet. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Nope, they have not dropped.
They have not dropped yet. So they probably actually drop tomorrow. But regardless,
if you don't want to know spoilers for the awards or the draft, if you've managed to avoid all of them,
then you might want to click off and come back and watch this on replay. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and jump into awards and draft talk right now, just because it was the big thing that happened this last weekend. It was so much fun to be a part of that, to be in the main room of the Comedy Store, the world famous Comedy Store.
yeah,
Hang out during all that was just it was a cool thing. If you would have told me like a year ago, like watching the awards last year, are we going to be able to be in the room and be a part of the awards this next year? I would have said, no, that's silly.
Here's the thing. Like I would want to talk about how our growth in relation to the Schmoedown has been, but the thing is I don't feel okay just talking about our growth, because I have seen major growth between the Schmoedown, the community. I know Christian talked about this. Mm-hmm. The community around the Schmoedown has grown huge this year. It has, like, exponentially, it has quadrupled, times 10, times 100. It has gotten huge. So, I mean, we began this year still casual fans. I remember
doing reactions.
Yeah, doing reactions. I remember at South by we met Mark Ellis and
that's kind of where everything took off.
Yeah, we met Scott. So Scott Mance was actually the first person related to Schmoedown that we met.
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
absolutely.
movie release dates.
The mayor of all.
So he was the first one that we met while in line for our badge issues at South by. And then we met Mark Ellis, who was hosting the Rotten Tomatoes Your Opinion Sucks Anyways
it does.
Panel. And so we talked to Mark Ellis. We told him who we were. He was familiar with the Cinefanatics at that time.
Yeah.
And
I think we told this story before, actually.
Nah, and I'm not going to dive into too much details, but we told him we're doing the whole meetup in Houston, and we just wanted confirmation of whether or not he's doing the live stream. We did that whole video where he popped up and yeah, boys, I'm going to do stand up in Houston.
That was so much fun.
Which was fun because that was the first public acknowledgement that Mark Ellis was doing stand-up, which was on our channel, which for those of us who have been fans doing reactions, that was huge for us.
That's a big thing for somebody who hasn't actually had direct involvement or interaction with anybody from the Schmoedown up until that point.
Yeah, Kelsey said that was a pretty good Mance. I don't know if she was talking about you or me, but because we both did a Mance impression.
She was talking about me.
Oh, okay.
Trying to take credit. Anyway, so to go from...
But that was back in March.
Yeah, to go from that point in March to... We're sitting in the middle of the Comedy Store. We've been to Houston. We've been to... In the studio. You got to jump into an actual match.
Yeah.
Having just because we were at the studio. And then, the Spectacular. To sitting... To end out the Magic season, essentially, with us sitting in the Comedy Store watching the awards and draft happen firsthand, much less our names even being a part of the draft, which that is even crazy to think. Again, from March to the point where our names are a part of the draft.
Yeah.
That, regardless of what happens draft-wise, I am so very thankful and grateful that our names are even in the running to be a part of a list of 140 whatever people. That's a small number of people compared to how many I imagine actually want to be able to compete at some point in the Schmoedown and be a part of the show. Mm-hmm. Got to have gratitude for the fact that our names are even listed in there, and that we probably at some point will have a match to prove ourselves to a manager, essentially. Mm-hmm. Touch on that again here.
We will talk about that in a little bit.
I feel like that's the theme of the video. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. We keep pushing off the next thing we want to talk about.
Yeah.
Here in a little bit. As far as the awards go, real quick, the first award, the first thing we need to talk about, and I feel a personal connection to this, is the fact that they did, some of the awards, I guess, weren't mentioned. I don't know what off the top of my head weren't done publicly in front of us or filmed for time constraints, but I really like that this one was done because it's a great nod to the fans. The after show podcast of the year was given to Call to Action.
Which, thank you, Kelsey, for representing Call to Action tonight.
Given the list of nominees...
And Lucas.
Yeah. Easily. And here's the thing. I'm not going to hold back. We were snubbed from that list. I get that. We all know.
How dare they?
But... even if we were a part of that list...
It still goes to Call to Action.
I feel pretty secure in saying that Call to Action still would have won that.
Yeah.
Even if we were allowed to be nominated. The fact that we were in the pre-nomination nomination, I'm okay with that.
No, we weren't. Cinefanatics was, though.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Anyway.
Those punks.
Yeah, it was really cool to even, be that close to even being nominated for the award. But, yeah, at the very least, look, Call to Action... I mean, you've seen us. We've gone off on these live streams now multiple times about Call to Action. I can't wait to actually go back and watch the video of the awards to watch Dylan's speech again because Dylan was so comfortable up there on the stage.
Yeah,
he was.
Dylan owned that stage in that awards acceptance speech.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. And here's the thing. I don't even know if I would have been able to talk that adequately
Nope,
on stage.
that's why I would have done it.
Yeah, I can't talk that adequately on a live stream.
Can't talk that adequately when we don't have a camera on us and you're trying to tell me something in the kitchen.
Possibly.
Throwing him under the bus again. Anyway, call to action. I loved that. That's probably one of, if not maybe the highlight of the awards for me, is that we get to see somebody who's in our direct community right now being able to accept that award, and somebody that we believe absolutely deserved it 100%. It was a great moment. I loved being there with them and a part of it, not necessarily a part of call to action because we aren't, but just being there in support of all of our friends that we've made over the internet, over this stuff. Kelsey and Lucas both agree Dylan killed it. Yeah, he absolutely did.
Yeah.
He was your man on the mic right there, 100%.
So a couple of highlights from the awards. Because even though we were there, I'm not able to piece together.
The whole day's a blur. Like, once you hit the draft, once you start doing the draft stuff, the awards kind of was like, that was a cool, fun thing. All right. And what's going on with this lunacy? Yeah. So the awards, a lot of them, without going back and watching the video, or having like a direct list that we can refer to. Some of them kind of do fade off into the background.
Almost anything that Shazam, Bibiani, or Brendan Meyer were nominated for, they won, though. And that was... Yeah. Oh, no. Here's the thing. That's the one that I like, is they did the best...
they got entrance.
They got entrance.
Finally.
Which, finally, yes. Bibiani easily deserves that.
Talk about legacy awards.
Yeah. And that was the entrance for them. Was it them as the commentators?
Yeah. Which I loved that. That was a great one.
That was a great entrance. Absolutely love that. The one I really liked was the... it was at the beginning as well. It was where they were on stage with Andrew Guy.
Yeah.
This
is awkward.
They did the best heel of the year with the face of the year or something like that.
Face team.
Yeah, the face team with the heel team, and I guess family...
One single heel... and face team.
Okay. Yeah, so that was fun and
now
awkward.
You got me questioning it. It's okay. It doesn't matter.
Either way, on stage was Andrew Guy being his dastardly heel self with Shazam.
Hey, guys.
Which was awkward as all get out, but was a blast to watch.
That's a big deal, though, because you look at Andrew Guy's award show last year... And dude was up there on stage for almost every single thing, being his dastardly self every single moment.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this year, he went up for that one award, kind of tucked his tail between his legs and walked off, which is maybe that's just a sign of the kind of Andrew Guy we're going to see in the Schmoedown this season, which is interesting.
Well, that makes sense because Andrew Guy almost got beat by half of Only Stupid Answers and a reactor.
Yeah,
almost got beat.
That's the reason he's going a little more face-ish.
That being said,
I
am fully in support of Andrew Guy's vengeance against Robert Meyer Burnett. We'll touch upon this at some point.
We should just stop saying things and just touch upon it when we touch upon it.
Yeah, probably. I like making cliffhangers that brings people back.
Yeah.
So
no one's going anywhere. It's fine.
Yeah, so there was a couple other things, I think, like during the awards.
Lucas brings up Mike and Rachel. Yeah.
That moment was awesome.
Mike's acceptance of any awards, like, you honestly, like, you can't help but love Mike Kalinowski. You can't. The dude wears his heart on his sleeve when it comes to those moments where he's gonna be emotional about the game. It's one of those where you go back to Moneyball and Brad Pitt's like, how can you not be romantic about baseball? Mike Kalinowski is the how can you not be romantic about the Schmoedown? Mm-hmm. He is that way every single time he's on stage, and I mean that's why we love the guy. He shows his passion out there, and that's a huge thing. But the match between Mike and Rachel from the Throwdown. Yeah, I think that's the one I actually voted for match of the year also. I mean, there's a lot of matches of the year. This last season was fantastic.
Those two kind of reminded me of at the end of Dark Knight with Batman and Joker, where they were like, I feel like we're destined to to do this battle for a while. Oh, I mean, granted, the fact that the Shire Wolves retired, so I guess not. But
yeah, Rachel retired and Heath Ledger died. So,
but I mean, regardless of the outcome in real life to that, I do feel like that was the legacy defining moment right there.
Yeah.
And they definitely they deserve that award for that moment, for that match. And seeing them on stage during that was fantastic.
Yeah.
Because you can't help but be emotional over that.
Yeah. I would say, like, there's a lot of awards to cover, and I don't know, maybe we might do something on another live stream another time about some of the other key moments, but the ones that I remember off the top of my head is at least one more really big one for sure, award-wise, is Smets winning that both IG Competitor of the Year, IG Star Wars Competitor of the Year, and Rookie of the Year. Two huge things, because he's even promoted it. You go back and you look at the email that he sent Christian at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Which we talked about this in our reactions back at the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
Smets came in with, like, I'm going to be the IG
Star Wars Competitor of I'm going to be the IG Champion. I'm going to be the IG Star Wars Competitor of the Year. I'm going to be Rookie of the Year. You heard it here first. And at the end of the year, nailed all three of those things.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah. Way to call your shot and put it out into the universe there, kind of a thing. Dude nailed it. That's a huge thing. So, like, for us to be in the presence of Smets winning those awards, as people who have been longtime Dungeon fans, longtime fans of Kevin Smets, that was a really good moment to see live. Regardless of whether or not Kaiser disrespected the Comedy Store afterwards or not, doesn't matter. Seeing Kevin Smets win those awards. I talked to Ellis afterwards. I was like, I was talking to him about that, and he's like, yep, that's the thing. I'm not going to go into, like, any more detail on that, but that's kind of like, dude, you got to love Kaiser. Kaiser is who Kaiser is.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's up there with, like, Dagnino. You got to love the person for who the character that person actually is.
Yeah. I think, like, during the awards, the other stuff I like to point out is going into this next season, we have a new commissioner.
Yeah, I was going to say, call out the Yodi Award winners, first of all, is the Shire Wolves, which we knew that going into the awards. Christian had already mentioned that.
Yeah.
But going off of that, first of all, Shire Wolves, absolutely deserving. They are one of, if not the best team that we've had in Schmoedown history. I know arguments are made for the Patriots also because of their run, but Shire Wolves is absolutely up there in that conversation 100%, and definitely deserves that Yodi Award. But leaping off of that, yeah, the new commissioner going into the new era, freaking Clark Wolf.
Yeah.
Which I couldn't help but stand up and be like, yes, this makes all of the sense.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait for it. Because Clark Wolf, like, here's the thing. Jumping all over the place. Emma Fyfe is a take no crap from people type of commissioner. She was that type of commissioner. Sam, yeah. Sam took crap, but he didn't care. Clark Wolf, she's going to be scary. Like, she's classy, friendly. Clark Wolf can be scary.
Well, she does like horror movies.
Yeah, sure. That's the reason. But also, like, I can see Clark Wolf being, like, really stern with people. Like, look, this is how it's going to be. You either do this or you're out.
Yeah.
Deal with it. I can't wait to see Clark act as commissioner in this next season. It's going to be huge.
Yeah. The only other thing from the awards that, like, off the top of my head, I feel like I want to point out is the moment of silence for Karen Volpe.
Karen Volpe, yeah. And the recognition that they gave to Paul Preston also.
Which I will say, from a fan, I absolutely love Paul Preston. Yeah, I've talked to him a couple of times. We were comparing answers on our phones during
and both
Spectacular.
Both him and Adam are great supporters of us as well.
Yes. The fact that what he's doing after what he's been through and he's pushing through, great respect. Absolutely great admiration. I can tell you, because I know me personally, there's no way I would be able to maintain that kind of headspace going through that.
Yeah.
The fact that he's able to do that and push forward is absolutely astounding.
I like that one of Karen's last wishes was to have all of Paul's friends kind of crowd around him and keep him occupied and keep him busy and get him out and doing things. Like, that is so awesome.
Yeah.
That is somebody, like, that is where that you can see the absolute love that they had in their marriage, because you can see, like, she is caring about him even past her time on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's out there like, look, he's gonna be in rough shape once I'm gone. Crowd around him, love him, show him that support, and I think just like that's probably done a whole lot to keeping him up in high spirits during this time. But like him being able to go up on stage and even like say a couple words himself, I have great admiration for that man and what he's been able to pull through during this time. And much love to him through this time of having lost his wife.
Yeah. So I mean, as far as the awards goes, I feel like overall a lot of who I voted for won the awards.
Yeah,
I feel like there's some of those that were really close. Like Match of the Year obviously was really, really tight.
But most of those weren't really surprising, even coming down to Podcast After Show of the Year. Not surprising.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Were you trying to make a point?
Yeah.
Oh,
moving
okay.
on. But yeah, I mean that's kind of our big talk on the awards. Again, without like a list to go play by play and award by award here in front of us, there's really gotta try to pinpoint the highlights from what we remember from that weekend. And again, the draft really overshadowed kind of everything for me. Speaking of
the draft, let me see where we're at in our timing here.
We're a couple minutes off, but we're pretty good to go into the draft now.
So the draft started, which, I mean, it seemingly went off without a hitch.
No hitches.
The draft happened where the managers were able to choose who they chose.
And I got who they chose too. Shout out to Jacob Patrick. I don't know if he's ever going to watch this video, this live stream, but shout out to him, because I'm utilizing his graphics that he made with everyone's full roster on there. Dude made some seriously awesome graphics, and it's really easy to grab those and pinpoint exactly what's going on. So even though we're not popping up on the screen, still giving him a shout out, because I know a lot of people have been using those graphics without shouting him out, and definitely need to.
By the way, Garth, 12:30 a.m. in Boston Eastern time zone, still with you. Thank you, Garth, for still being with us.
Garth, you are a trooper.
We see that there's 8 people with us right now. 7. I love how that just changed from 8 to 7 right as I said that, too.
It fluctuates. There's anywhere from 7 to 8 people with us consistently. So we want to thank all you guys for hanging out with us. We're not going to keep this going too much longer, but we do want to get into some of this draft talk real quick, because we're not going to have any time next week to do so.
Yeah, so the draft going on, there were some pretty good draft picks.
Yeah.
There were some that were kind of obvious. Like, we knew going into the draft that Sam Levine was more than likely going to choose the family.
Now, there's a lot of talk that he was going to pick Shazam, which would have made sense also. But, I mean, you know, you look at, there's a connection between him and Drew. And my honest opinion is that I think he could state that him and McWeeny are the primary reason for him picking them. But I think it's because you're going to get easy points out of the gate with Andrew Guy taking out Robert Meyer Burnett in, was it New York?
Yeah. As a season opener.
Yeah, as a season opener. Easy points right out of the gate. It makes sense to grab some points. Try to build that momentum right off the bat. So, as much as Andrew Guy likes to think he was the first pick, it was actually McWeeny. McWeeny wasn't there at the draft, though, so Guy accepted as the number 1 pick.
That was funny.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah. So, I mean, usual suspects, that's a pretty decent-looking team.
We can run through some of this team. Like, Janine the Machine, good pick. Solid pick. Matt Atchity, as long as... I mean, here's the thing. Sam Levine being a manager for Matt, That's all that Matt needs to be like the top tier player that that he's capable of being. Is he's got to have a manager on his side. It's like, hey, stop second guessing your own wins.
Yeah. Ken Knapsack, great pick right there.
Which he's going to be the essentially advisor also. He's going to be in an advisory role also for the Usual Suspects, so that's going to be good too.
You got Jader the Hurricane Paramo, who won the fan match in Orlando.
Yeah, I'm super glad to see him picked up during the draft.
Yeah. Cameron Rice and Jen Kemp.
Which Cameron Rice, is he does a lot of the photography stuff for the Schmoedown also.
Jen Kemp, the only thing we've seen her from so far was the free-for-all last year, which she had a bit part in.
Yeah, and now he opted out for his 9th and 10th spot, so there's 2 spots right there for us. Moving on.
This is going to come into play, I feel like, in a little bit.
Roxy's got a pretty solid team, too. Like, here's the thing. I think pretty much everybody did really good at the draft, including some people don't think did well at the draft. I think actually everybody did pretty good at the draft.
Yeah. So Odd Couple safe. Alex Damon.
Hold on. The biggest obvious pick of the night. Of course, Roxy's going to pick Odd Couple.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Alex Damon, also great pick.
I'm interested to see that he went in the 3rd round.
Yeah,
because he's going to be making his debut in Inner Geekdom in Atlanta, so that's kind of a big deal. But he's the ever reigning champion of Star Wars and is probably never going to lose that belt unless some of the other people who we'll mention later actually give a good showing this year.
Stacey Howard, fantastic. I think Stacey Howard is going to be right at home with the rock stars.
Yes,
it's a good benefit between, like she was on the Viper Squad and Corruption. I think Rockstars is going to be a good home. Now, the only thing though is she was on Corruption, which was a team formed by someone who used to be on the team with Roxy, the DC movie talk. Yeah. So that might cause a little bit of strife there, but interesting.
Roxy's going to do great things with Stacey, though. I think this is a perfect matchup as her manager. Fantastic choice.
Roxy also picked Jim Vavoda, who's Vevita. Sorry, yeah, I'm still got to get used to that. Vegvoda, who is a critic for IGN, I believe.
Yeah.
We saw him at South by Southwest. Mm-hmm. So that's a pretty good pick because he's a person who knows what they're talking about.
He hasn't played in a while either, so it's going to be interesting to see him come back.
We'll also see the return of we got Jared Habon and Adam Gertler, both of whom.
Adam Gertler makes sense because he was part of the league with Roxy to begin with.
Yeah,
which makes me wonder, like, if John Quasto over here, Johnny LaQuasto, can separate himself a little bit from AEW and all the wrestling stuff that he's been doing, which he's probably not going to be able to. He's super busy with that. He would make an excellent advisor with Roxy. Like bring kind of the league flavor back into this. Mm-hmm. That would be awesome. I don't see that happening, but I like Adam Gertler being back, and Jared Haben having a manager now is a good thing too. That
might help him definitely. Then you got David Del Rio, who's an actor who. If you recall last season, he had to bow out from the.
He couldn't be in the tournament.
He had to bow out from the tournament just because his schedule was too busy.
Yeah, he couldn't be in the tournament, but he's a good competitor. So if he can play, that's great. But that's one of those rocky ones where it's like, I don't know if he's going to be able to be there.
Yeah, potentially. And then she left her 10th space blank,
which we got to mention JTE also.
Well, yes, JTE was a surprise because
we didn't think
at that point we had been led to believe that JTE was not coming back. He was moving to Wisconsin or so, and he would not be coming back to LA. So
it's going to be interesting to see how much JTE is actually a part of this next season.
Especially with JTE now being in the same faction as Snyder.
Yeah, being back with Snyder.
But Snyder's a part of another team now.
Is that going to cause a rocky relationship with Odd Couple? Every team that JTE's been on, which is mostly just with Lon in the past, season or season and a half or so, after the Patriots, hasn't really worked out all that much because for some reason or another, JT had to step away. I don't know. I don't know how much he's going to be able to play this year, so I don't know. I don't know if that's a good pick between him and David Del Rio's like rocky schedule also, and then she's got that 10th spot still open. There's another team that could probably house us also. So, moving on to the Mouthy Mercs.
So we're going to take a break right now. If you want to interact with the chat, I'm going to step away for a minute.
He's going to step away. Yeah, let's see. What's going on here in the chat. I have to move closer to the mics. I'm so sorry if this is really loud, guys. This is going to turn to an ASMR channel. Hi, welcome to the Cinefanatics ASMR channel. Today we are talking about the Schmoedown Draft. I'm going to stop this gag now. It's not funny. Yeah, Garth, I'm biased, but I love the Rockstars faction lineup. You are a little biased, Garth, being in control of the Facebook group for the Rockstars. Coy! Hey, man, just in time. We're actually about to talk about your lineup here. That's so awesome that you jumped in for us. Welcome. Oh, hang on, man. We'll cover who those are in a second. Yeah, man. Sorry, I just love that you jumped in here with us here. Let's see. Lucas is complaining about his wife. That's not surprising. Throwing her under the bus constantly, which is hilarious. Never stop doing that. Let's see who else we got here. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into Koi's team since Koi decided to grace us with his presence. Yeah, really. Hurry up. Koi's here. What are you doing? Anyway, first of all, if we're going to talk about predictions, it makes so much sense. First, besides the fact that Shazam has that comic book name, it's one of those, if Sam didn't grab Shazam and went with the family, which he did, it makes 100% sense. All the sense in the world that Koi would go with Bibiani and the kid. That is a rock solid team. That is a team that I've been saying all last year is going to have a belt at some point. If it wasn't going to happen this last in the spectacular, it's going to happen this year. So Eric said, "Yeah, you left at the wrong time." Koi, I am all knowing and all seeing. Deadpool with the power cosmic. That's
Dude, Deadpool with the power cosmic. That would be
scary.
Awesome. I love Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer is one of my favorite comic book characters ever.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, like I was saying, we start off with the Shazam. Shazam is just the rock solid. You got to go with Shazam.
Yeah.
For Koi. That's personality-wise, too. They automatically fit. Round 3, Mara Knopic. It's kind of a steal that Mara fell to round 3, honestly.
Yeah.
She's a former champion, and she's going to be a champion again. Like, there's talk of, like, is Mara going to have ring rust since she's been away for a while? But my argument is that her rookie year, she jumped in and ran through everybody and got the belt. Ring rust isn't a thing to her because she didn't have it in her rookie year. She's not going to have it now.
Yeah.
That's a solid pick for IG for you.
Yeah, which I'm willing to bet that the Horsemen, that the Finstock Exchange is maybe a little upset that they weren't able to hold on to Mara Knopic.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I would have liked to see Mara be with the Finstock Exchange because of a certain connection there, but at the same time, like, this is the Schmoedown. This is the way this goes.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you just have to accept that things aren't going to go the way you want them to go. We know this firsthand.
Yeah. So if you look at, Tim Franco. Tim Franco's a fantastic competitor right there.
Yeah.
He was a good pick for being partnered with Stacey Howard. He's still a good competitor on his own. He's a good addition.
He's a solid choice that just needs more and more screen time, more and more time at that desk just to really cement himself in the solid role. Kat's trying to chime in now. Hush!
Yeah.
We're doing a thing.
Haley Fouch. I absolutely love Haley Fouch, mainly because of her love for the horror movies.
Yeah.
So, that's a good pick as well.
Now, based on what we see here, and Koi might be able to chime in here a little bit, I would say, based on what we see as a team here, Tim Franco and Haley Fouch would make a pretty killer team.
Yeah.
Especially Haley Fouch now having a manager, which is going to be a big support to her and being able to do more and more. I think that is a team that could go a little bit beyond what Stacy and Tim were able to do with Knapsack and Hancock.
Yeah. And then I will have to say, even if Coy wasn't in the chat right now, huge props to being able to secure and keeping the Real Rejects together. Because I know if you're a team who's not protected, that it's really hard keeping them together. And the fact that Coy was able to, the fact that Coy is able to keep the Real Rejects together, that's fantastic. And I think that's a huge,
especially with other beloved teams that the worldwide Schmoedown loves that aren't staying together,
which we'll talk about here in a second. Common theme of this live stream. And then Coy also got Joseph Scrimshaw, who is a huge competitor for Star Wars.
Here's the thing. I am so surprised that Scrimshaw didn't go during the actual televised draft, that he fell to the Twitter draft on Sunday.
Yeah.
That is... Because Scrimshaw is one of those that could actually put up a fight against Damon. Mm-hmm. So I'm surprised... I'm surprised that a lot of the competitors who did go in Star Wars went before him. But that's going to be a huge steal for Coy also, being able to get one of those top-tier Star Wars competitors like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Mouthy Mercs, really solid team going into this year.
That's one of my... So, here's the thing, and in all seriousness, as people watching the Schmoedown, I know we went into this after the nuke was dropped, and that there was the cut scene where Coy was wanting to, like, hey, can I be a manager to Christian?
Yeah.
And we're all like, Coy be a manager, possibly?
I liked it.
Coy's got one of... Yeah, okay, stop. Coy's got one of the strongest teams out of the draft, though.
And I think part of that is definitely of benefit to his pick number. Mm-hmm. Being at that number 3 spot is really beneficial because you're going to have some of those first picks, at least in that first round, which is, again, what secured him Shazam from the top. Without that pick, you don't get Shazam. That is going to hurt a little bit.
So, I mean, that being said, I do see that the spot 9 and 10 happens to be empty.
Still leaving 9 and 10 open there.
Yeah.
So... Another team that we would fit good on.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely.
So if we move on to the dungeon here, now this is the one that a lot of people are saying is a little bit questionable. And actually, before we get into the dungeon, because Coy blew up our chat here. Oh man, not messing around. No,
absolutely not.
You're not Coy. You're not messing around. They are the mouth to my Merc. Yep, I mean...
The Real Rejects.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the Real Rejects are going to benefit huge from having a manager also.
It is definitely good when you have a team that already is familiar with what each other knows, each other's strengths and weaknesses. Knowing what each other knows about the Schmoedown, it's good having that kind of a team on your faction.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, again, all these factions are really solid. Mm-hmm. So that being said, we go into the dungeon, which a lot of people are saying is probably the weakest of all the...
I don't think so.
Now, that's what people are saying. But Kaiser is a man with... Kaiser knows how to do drafts.
Yeah.
He's a sports guy. He knows this stuff. I trust the reasoning he has for picking all of these individuals. First of all, Kevin Smets, of course. You got to run with the current IG champ. You've been in his corner from the beginning. That's a no-brainer. You got to run with Kevin Smets. But the big surprise was Robert Parker going in round 2 and Kaiser
grabbed him
real quick.
So here's the thing. I will do a little bit of behind the scenes. Yes, this was actually kind of funny. Where Kaiser was like, I like grabbing new blood, people who have already proven themselves type of thing. And that's why for my next pick, I'm going to choose Robert. And I'm like,
hold up.
Parker.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's the one behind me.
Yeah, of course he's going to pick.
He's sitting right here.
Bow tie over there.
But
ooh, the Magic Man.
But yeah, Robert Parker, here's what's going to be interesting. You got Robert Parker, who's pretty much undefeated in all of the fan leagues.
Yeah.
On the same faction as Kevin Smets, who for the most part is pretty undefeated in all of the Schmoedown.
Been defeated by Robert Parker.
Well, in the fan leagues,
the fan leagues, yeah.
That's a huge strength for Kaiser.
So right now, I know a lot of people are like, why is he going this route? I don't understand. I don't get why he's going that route because he's already got the IG champ. But you're gonna have Robert Parker is gonna rise up through the ranks. He's gonna face down a bunch of competitors. You're gonna have easy points there because Robert's gonna slaughter everybody.
Yeah,
and then he's gonna get to that title match with Smets, which there's already extra points that you're getting just for the fact that you're in a title match. So he's got two players who are going to face off for the IG belt at some point. More than likely, again, Smets has to defend against Mara, which Coy might have some words about that.
Yeah.
Smets has to defend against Mara first, but you have a situation where you have the potential of Kevin Smets still holding the belt up against Robert Parker, who is vying for the belt, and the extra points that you're going to get from both of those being in a title match, and then, whoever wins, those points go to you. You're not going to lose out there. So it's a kind of a big deal that he was able to snag somebody who is going to be this high tier in IG.
Yeah. So Kaiser was able to hold on to Zipper, which is awesome. He also picked up Adam Witt from the Movie Guys, which is a great pick. Adam Witt showed that he also has a pretty strong movie knowledge from the Movie Guys, giving their team performance in the tournament. So that's a good pick.
Yeah.
The other thing, and unfortunately we don't have too much to go off of, but almost everyone else, pretty much everyone else in the dungeon are all rookies.
We got a little bit of tape on Brittany Young just because she did that celebrity match, but otherwise everybody else is either a fan leaguer or somebody else who has been doing some kind of thing somewhere throughout the movie sphere.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be an interesting one. We know Kaiser's performance with rookies before having gotten to Oyama the belt and defending, and Smets getting the belt. So
yeah,
it's gonna be an interesting team to watch. So, and there's no room for us on that team right now.
Yeah. Moving on to corruption, Shannon was luckily able to secure the corruption team.
I don't really want to talk about Shannon, to be honest.
Here's the thing. Yes, I'm going to breeze through this. One, because who wants to talk about corruption? And second of all, because, there's a matter of time here.
I love Shannon. I love Mike, but Shannon sucks.
She picked up Mark Edward Hoyk. I'm eager to see what he's going to do on corruption.
And she obviously picked up
Laura Kelly, so she's got a good Star Wars player. She's got a bunch of...
Right, hold on a second. Coy's got to go. It's 1 a.m. Dude, thanks so much for jumping in and supporting us, man. It's so great to have you here. Get some rest, get some sleep. We'll talk to you later, man. Thanks for jumping in.
Yeah, later, Coy. So
she's got some killers on her team. Some new blood in there, some really good ones. She's got somebody by the name of Nerd Chronic. That's a funny name.
Nerd Chronic?
That's a funny name for somebody to have.
Yeah.
That's who names their child Nerd? Whose last name is Chronic? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's Eric Rodriguez.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna have to play heel, buddy. Can you do it? I think he can. He's been able to do promos for enough people who are heels.
Now, speaking of heel,
and the reason why I don't really want to talk about Shannon,
she did the ultimate heel move, which is funny by this is within minutes before they awarded the heel of the year for 2019.
Yeah.
Because of Shannon's move, she has cemented heel of the year for 2020.
Before the season even starts, before a single match.
By grabbing Elliot Dewberry and thus breaking up the Wildberries. You don't break up the Wildberries.
So, absolutely ridiculous. Like, I can't even. I just can't even.
I can't wait for the video of the draft to appear because you will see firsthand.
Oh, yeah.
When she called Elliot Dewberry, that room erupted.
I was on my feet booing.
Everybody was just, no. Like, that was the most heel.
I'm not one to, like, stand up and just, like, haul out and boo somebody. Oh, I was feeling it. I was like, how dare you? How very dare you?
Yeah. And then when she turned around and did that video on Facebook with her eating Wildberry Skittles.
Which was hilarious.
That was hilarious, but man, Shannon's got the best heel of the year already. And it's going to be hard for anyone to top Shannon on that.
I trust that she's going to be able to back up her talk and what she's doing, but from what I hear, there's going to be some interesting things in regards to Mr. Dewberry being on her team, too. So we'll leave it at that and move on. There's no room on her team for us, and I don't want to be on it anyway. Swag, drip.
Would you stop doing that?
No, that's his thing. I'm going to do it.
That's his thing.
First of all, Paul Oyama, what a snag.
Yeah.
I am so excited for Paul. Like, sad that he's not in the dungeon anymore, but Paul Oyama with Winston is going to be absolutely killer, especially since it looks like he's teaming him up with Lon Harris to be the new world's finest. Completely on board with that, which you'll see that when you see in the video because he held up Zipper's old shirt and said the new world's finest. Yeah, so that's gonna be fun with Paul Oyama and Lon Harris doing that.
But Lon Harris on a team called Swag. Okay.
There's gonna be some interesting cutscenes there. Oh man, let's see how long he holds that professor.
If he's gonna continue that professor persona, he's like, "How are you gonna put me on a team called Swag?
What does this even mean? I don't understand.
What is the acronym of Swag? What is the word Swag?"
Yeah, it's gonna be funny. Chandru being on the team, that makes so much sense.
Oh yeah, it does.
I would have been fine with Chandru also being with Roxy or Koi. So. But Chandru being on Winston's team, like that's going to be a good combo too.
I like Chandru was sitting behind us during this, and he's like, "Yeah, okay,
right. That sounds good. I'm game."
Yeah.
Josh McCoy. Now here's the thing: I would have loved for the Wildberries both to be a part of Swag, and I think that's what Winston.
That would have made sense.
That's what Winston was initially going to go for.
Yeah.
Until Shannon pulled her stupid. But for the most part, like Josh McCoy on Swag, yeah, that's going to be a fun time.
Garth is pointing in the chat that Lon already uses Gangsta Paradise.
Oh,
I forgot about that.
That's a good point.
He uses Gangsta's Paradise as his entrance theme.
That's a good point.
I don't know if he's going to be able to continue doing that because that's a copyrighted song.
Well, we'll see if David B can come up with some variation of it because I'm sure David B is going to be rocking out the music for all these factions.
Liz Shannon Miller,
steal up the 5th round. Liz Shannon Miller has a lot of potential still. Yeah. So we'll see how good she's going this next season.
Adam Lavick, I'm eager to see his return to like a strong IG competitor.
He's got a hill to climb because the IG competitors this year are not messing around.
No. And then he also grabbed RB3,
which is a fun grab. I'm eager to see RB3 return to the battlefield again.
Yeah. Demi Adejuwibe, which we haven't seen him in a hot minute.
Did he do any more matches past his debut? I can't even remember.
He did one more.
So he's
done like 2 matches.
So so I mean that's just a sign for rookies when you're jumping in, win your match, then you'll get more matches. You gotta win your match.
Yeah. Ed Greer,
who we haven't seen in the Schmoedown. I don't believe I've seen Ed Greer in the Schmoedown before. Maybe in a free-for-all? I can't remember.
Yeah.
I do know that he's a staple in movie fights, though, over on Screen Junkies.
Yeah.
And he's been fantastic at movie fights, so we'll see how well he does in the Schmoedown also.
Yep. And
an ace.
Yeah.
Andres Cabrera. He's in the rookie, so it's a shock that he hasn't played in the Schmoedown before because I know he was a Schmoes No staple back in the day also.
Yep.
So it's going to be good to see him. It's going to be good to see him compete.
The next one is Finstock, which, I mean, okay, here's the thing. We're going to blast through this one probably pretty quick because, I mean, he got to save his first 4.
The first 4 solid picks. Yeah, you're going to keep them.
He picked up Andrew DeMolanta, which, again, solid Star Wars performer right there, so that will be good. He picked up the Barbarian, which we saw the cutscene of that.
And Ethan Irwin has been touting him on social media, so I think there's a lot to be said for the Barbarian. Eager to see what he pulls off this next season. You got Emily Rose Jacobson, who's
a decent IG competitor. I'm hoping to see a lot more from her.
Yeah.
Coming into this next season, but
and then you got Gray Drake, who we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah,
so I'm ready to see her come.
Gray
back.
Drake was it formerly of Rotten Tomatoes,
and then MODOK.
Yeah. Cody Hall, who's the engineer of Collider Live.
Yeah, or was the engineer of Collider
Yeah,
Live.
unfortunately.
And probably almost one of the primary engineers of the Schmoedown in general.
Yeah.
Sounds like he was actually surprised that he even got drafted to begin with, so that's going to be a thing to see.
And the last pick was Ben Campbell, which Ben Campbell, if you've ever... I don't know. He really hasn't had that much of a presence on the Schmoedown if you're watching it on YouTube.
On camera. You get him every now and then.
Possibly.
Mostly from Houston.
If you've ever been to a live event or if you've been in the studio, well, actually, I don't even recall him from the studio.
No, if you've been to a live event,
if you've been to a live event, you've seen him, and he's been a major presence.
He's the big guy.
And we talked to him this past weekend, like, okay, so you've been drafted, or you could be, we didn't know at the time, you could be drafted. How's your movie knowledge? And he seemed pretty confident. Yeah. So not only does he have the confidence of movie knowledge, he has the build for it.
He's an intimidating fella.
He's very intimidating. So that will be interesting to see how he does.
Also, John Roca got picked in the 4th round. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Go figure.
There's no room for us on the Finstock Exchange.
Oh, absolutely not.
Moving to the Den. This is one... I mean, here's the thing. Like, I've been a fan of the Dungeon. This is the team to watch out for.
Yeah.
Well, give or take the last spot. This is the team to watch out for, really. You got Tom and Paul, who are going to form an intimidating team. I am scared of that team, and we need to make a debut of some sort and ultimately probably end up facing them at some point. I am deathly afraid of that team, mostly because one of those members is going to show me a dead body.
Yeah.
Brandon,
and it'll probably be your brother.
Sure. Brandon Hanna, 3rd round. Didn't Chandru go before him? I think. No, not 3rd round because the Den had some crazy trades and stuff.
Yeah.
Chandru went before him. That's kind of funny. But yeah, Brandon Hanna, that's going to be your solid IG pick there. Sean Sullivan, going to make his debut in Star Wars. I like that guy.
Yeah.
Sean Sullivan is a good dude. Eager to see what he does.
There was a couple of rookies that were there this past weekend. And I think out of all the rookies that we saw, that we met, that we interacted with, Sean Sullivan was easily one of the friendliest, most approachable, God, that guy was fun to be around.
I can't wait to see what he does in the Schmoedown because he's a good dude. Diana Demijohn, we haven't seen her yet.
Yep.
I don't know if she's a fan league or where she comes from originally, but yeah.
Silverstreeny. Okay.
I'm surprised she went that late, and that's the big story for the Den. Why did Silverstreeny go this late? Some managers not be thinking straight.
So again, behind the scenes, right before she got called, I actually was turned around talking to Chandru, and I was like, why? Why is Silverstreeny still not picked yet?
Yeah.
And the second I told Chandru that was when Kate turned around and called Silverstreeny. I was like, oh, okay.
Finally, yeah.
But still, I was actually literally about to get upset that Silverstreeny had not been chosen at that point.
I didn't see all of her tweets. I'd have to go back because I know a lot of people, everybody was tweeting out during that, so I don't know.
I saw some of her tweets. But yeah, That was a great pick. That's a great snag because, I mean, we've said it before.
Still here. Hello. Yeah. I'm so surprised that she went that late. That's a big steal because she's going to have such a year this year.
And I say we've talked about this before. Rachel Silvestrini and Janine the Machine are going to be huge competitors this next season.
They're going to be your essentially your comeback players of the year.
Yeah,
this next year. Watch.
Bagel Boy,
Ben Goddard. Ben Goddard is a great presence to the Schmoedown now. Love him on SCN. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to see how good he does in competition. So. That's a big deal. Alex Marzonia is an interesting one. See how he competes also.
Hey, Alex.
Yeah. Saul.
So Saul was acquired by the Den through a trade. So Saul is officially on the Den. Kind of interesting to see.
Originally in the dungeon, which would have made so much sense because Saul and Kaiser are cut from the same mold.
Yeah, but I mean, this is a person who's coming in who has plenty of skills at dialing the phone.
Saul better call.
So I'm eager to see what he knows as far as movie knowledge to be brought in, to be drafted onto a team.
Yeah.
Because either, we know his skills of calling are pretty good, and we know his dog skills of getting the bacon are really good.
Oh, the dog got the bacon.
Yep.
And then
that's really weird when you can't say the curse word in that too. It sounds like, oh, okay.
And then you got the final one is Brett Sheridan, who is going
to make sure that all the cast iron is properly seasoned on the Den.
He's going to, that's true. He's also going to be hilarious to watch in the Schmoedown. It's going to be a fun time with Brett Sheridan there.
And also no room for us.
I would love to be a part of the Den, though.
Yeah, that was a good team.
That's a solid team to watch. That's going to be the last one there.
So Burning Droogs, Robert Meyer Burnett.
Oh, yeah, we got to talk about Burning Droogs, too.
Who cares? Moving on.
Yeah, who cares? Anyway, that was the draft, guys. Fine, we'll talk about him. We are going a little bit late, guys. We're going to talk about this and then kind of close it out.
We got to kind of wrap this up pretty soon here. So Burning Droogs, he grabbed Ethan Irwin, great grab.
That's a great grab. I knew he was going to go for one of those, either Tom, Ethan, or Paul, whichever was available. But Irwin's a great grab for him.
James White, who we saw at the awards and draft.
It's interesting to see him go this early. I'm really intrigued to see what James White's going to be able to pull off because he's another one of those rookies who's jumping in super early. What do they know that I don't? Interesting to see James White and how he competes.
Alonso Duralde on Robert Meyer Burnett's team?
I mean, here's the thing.
This is going to be a team that has to... This is a team they don't want to be heel, but they have to be.
I think a lot of these people are going to be capable of it. Alonso's definitely capable of it, but he is the Jolly Christmas fella.
So he's got to play the Grinch?
I don't know. He's not going to be the Grinch. He loves Christmas. That's going to be really interesting, though. I mean, I feel like I'm saying that a lot, but the fact of the matter is this draft is anarchy on steroids, where some people are going to be ending up having to play counter character to what they have been. So, yeah, Alonso Duralde, I'm fascinated to see what he's going to do on the Droogs.
Real quick before we continue with this, if y'all, we're wrapping up, we're getting towards the end of this. If y'all have any questions, make sure to drop them in the chat. Any more super chats or Streamlabs, make sure to drop those in as well so we can acknowledge those.
We'll cover those before we end here.
Yeah. So, what is that? Is that telling us
we got a Patreon email? It looks like they're on their way.
Okay. So they're about to drop the awards draft video?
Yeah.
Videos. So Burning Droogs continue on here. Whitney Seibold got picked up by the Burning Droogs. That might be interesting just because I want to see if there's going to be any kind of storyline continuing on with Whitney being rejected by Bibiani.
Yeah. And I also wonder if Burnett's going to make any attempt to try to trade for Mark Edward Hoyk. Also, to try to get him in there and maybe put Whitney and him back together? Or is Whitney going to be paired with Alonso? I don't know.
Yeah. Video Drew.
Which boo again on Robert Meyer Burnett. Once again, another heel manager who's doing the dastardly thing, not Andrew Guy, but doing the dastardly thing of splitting up beloved teams like the Looney Bin.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, yeah, we are now going to see Paul Preston and Tom together, but yeah, how dare they split up Video Drew and Tom? So...
Oh, apparently they're gonna premiere the awards video in place of SEN Live. I'm gonna guess tomorrow.
Oh, interesting.
That's an interesting way of doing that, but cool.
Okay, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
So the next one is Warfather.
I loved that call out. My choice is Warfather, and he stands up, yes, with his hammer. Oh,
Yeah, because he was actually there with his helmet and his hammer, like, ready to go.
Which, Kate and Makuga doing the comedy beforehand, and Makuga's like, who's this guy with the helmet? Like,
What's the Viking back there? Like,
he's like, I'm the Warfather.
yeah.
All right. Okay. Cool.
I also feel a personal connection to the Warfather.
I wonder why.
Because his cutscene debuted in a particular episode that may have included someone else debuting, maybe.
Yeah. So, moving on, you got Justin Kroll, Jenna Bush, and Josh Clevedo, who...
Are all newbies.
All newbies. We're not familiar with their trivia knowledge yet because we haven't seen them compete yet. They're all rookies. So that's going to be fun. And then he's got a 10th spot. He opted out of the 10th spot. Who cares?
So he didn't choose one of us, and, well,
Who cares? That's fine. So a lot of crazy stuff. A lot of lunacy went down at the draft. And it's, man, last season was the magic season. This is more of a magical season this year. This is going to be a crazy season of the Schmoedown.
So here's the thing that I'm looking at is, so we sat through the draft on Saturday. We sat through, we managed to get home in time for the draft on, refreshing Twitter like crazy, watching the draft on Sunday.
Not seen two people chomping at the bit more than us. Like, refresh.
And
where's our name?
Here's the thing. After watching the draft picks on Sunday, it became apparently obvious
By the 9th round.
that the Cinefanatics were not being picked up by managers. A team essentially made up of people who have been doing reactions to the Schmoedown.
Real quick, he's about to go off, and I'm washing my hands of this situation. Continue.
A team made up of people who have been doing... Don't act like you don't agree with this.
I do. I'm letting you do it.
A team made up of people who have been doing Schmoedown reactions for... 2 years? Almost?
Better part of before some of these managers even knew about the Schmoedown.
Oh, that's a good point. And have recently been studying, who now know movies going into this new season of Schmoedown, are prepared to increase their ability to respond to questions during reactions. They were not picked up during the draft. Feel like there might have been a mistake made there.
Oh, big old mistake.
And that's a mistake that I feel like some of these managers are about to learn.
Yep.
As now free agents, who will stay together as a team, will be plowing through all of your teams, destroying them one by one.
There's basically...
Until you understand the mistake that you made. Up until the point in which we have to face Tom and Paul Preston, because there's still there's no way we're getting through that one at all.
That's so
whatsoever.
Frightening. That's so frightening. I do not want to face them at all.
But the rest of y'all, be ready.
Yeah, all I know is that there's going to be some points left on the table for a little bit until some managers wise up. And that's just so unfortunate that those points are just going to be floating out in the abyss.
Now, we'll give y'all another shot.
Of course, we don't have a choice. We respect the league. We respect the people involved in the league.
Oh, absolutely.
I have love for most of these managers, give or take one or two, and I would be happy to still play for any of them. Should whoever wises up quickly.
Yeah. One of us has actually been on the Schmoedown already, which is funny because there's a lot of rookies who got picked up who may have movie knowledge.
But they don't have game tape.
They don't have proof of movie knowledge. They don't have any kind of experience whatsoever, much less like even just one match.
Mm-hmm. In which they take a top 5 ranked team to the 3rd round.
And do not lose by KO or TKO.
Yeah. Suffice it to say, we're here. We're ready.
Big mistake. Huge mistake. I feel like I'm channeling Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman at this point.
Yeah.
Lifting up the bags. Huge mistake. We're coming. This is going to be interesting to watch.
Yep. That being said, it's about all of our thoughts on the awards, the draft, and our lovely talk on the Oscars. So we'll give one quick look through right here in the chat before we call it a night.
Yes, Lucas, we are seeing your cursing in the chat. Thank you for blessing us with those choice 4-letter words.
As of right now, we're the only mods, and as you can tell, you're watching us.
And as you can tell, we don't give up.
We don't have time to...
Whatever word he said.
Yeah, we don't have time to have the ability to go through the chat also. Eric said, I genuinely hope you guys get a match this year, and it's been my honor to play you and destroy you because that's what I got to do now. Okay, Eric. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, Garth, here we go. No awards nomination. And no manager drafted them? Cinefanatics is going to go heel?
It's about enough to make those of us who wanted to stay a face get a little angsty.
I mean, you kind of have to at some point.
I mean, this fool was already going to be angry regardless, but...
I'm angry at everything.
I'm seeing a little fire myself.
I woke up in the morning and have to go to work. I'm angry.
And then Alex... jumping in here at the end. Well, since you're jumping in, Alex, once again, we will say very big congratulations. I know we told you in person, but very big congratulations on you guys winning that award for After Show of the Year. So that's a huge deal.
Thanks for cutting the promo, guys. It'll make it easier once you get that match. I mean,
did you even think about that while we were doing it? I'm sitting here with my socks up and everything. Whatever.
I didn't think about it all. That's gonna be fun.
Oh man, Garth says go with the Addams Family theme and show up in scary outfits, Scary Makuga and others. No, man, that's on Tom and Video, Drew. I really don't actually want to lean into the Addams Family because that's not something that I haven't heard for my entire life with this last name. I think we're gonna stick with the Cinefanatics.
Y'all were snubbed on a nom. Yes, but luckily we were not snubbed on a nom of a nom.
Well, no, we were the Cinema Fanatics again.
How long are we gonna let this joke continue?
Until Christian says our name correctly.
Oh, okay.
Which actually no, he did on SCN.
Yeah,
he did on SCN yesterday. So
yeah, Christian knows who we are.
2 days ago now. Ooh, it's late. Anyway, yeah. So we'll give him a pass now. That's fine. But regardless,
that because I also think we've bugged the crap out of him in regards. Hey, can we get a match? Can we get a match?
Well, I mean, yeah, and we'll get one eventually. So at this point, it's just the waiting game. That's fine.
And we will tear through you all. Yeah. Anyways, I love it.
So yeah, that's about where we're gonna wrap up, guys. We want to thank you guys so much for jumping in and hanging out with us this entire time. For those of you who aren't, it's late. Those of you who aren't following us already, which, gotta be honest, probably all of you are. You can do so on all the social medias: Twitter, Instagram, Cinefanatics MLP, Chris Adams MLP, Robert Adams MLP. Jump on Facebook. We got the page. We got the group. The group is, it's going to be /Cinefanatics. You're going to find us.
Facebook.com/group/Cinefanatics.
You can find him up on that Letterboxd deal. I'm still working on mine. So what's the Letterboxd?
Find me. It's Letterboxd. It's Robert Adams MLP. Also, and something else I want to point out as well, because we really haven't talked about it too much. But we do still have our own individual YouTube channels as well.
Yep.
Chris Adams MLP, Robert Adams MLP. I know
It's not the name of it, but okay.
What's mine?
No, mine is just Chris Adams.
Oh, yours just... so mine's Robert Adams MLP. Granted, I haven't done too much with mine lately. I know I want to do more like comedy skits and
Neither
vlog
one of us have
stuff,
really done stuff with our channels lately.
But if y'all could help us out, go over to those channels as well. Subscribe to those. Let's boost some numbers on that, because we are going to do something with those channels as time permits. So that would be great to see growth in that.
I have ideas of stuff I want to do on that channel too. So nice catch.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, all that stuff.
Follow us on Twitter, as you said, Instagram. We're looking at upping our social media game this year is something we want to work on.
We got some pictures from the awards that we need to post up too.
Yeah.
So, anything more on Streamlabs? Nope. Okay. So once again, thank you guys for showing up. I don't think we're gonna do a live stream next week. We don't really have any ideas right now. If we do, we'll announce it on social media.
Yeah.
But right now, there's nothing in the works. I know February we're gonna hit some. Again, we're gonna be doing that live stream probably during the Oscars, either before and after or during. So look out for that. We'll make announcements on social media about that as well. And then March, we're going to be hitting the ground running on, I think, trying to do a live stream every week from then on out. So stay tuned. Big things coming from the Cinefanatics this year. Big things.
Huge.
Anyways.
That's going to do it for tonight. Thank y'all for sticking around. I know we were trying to end this by 12 midnight Central Time. We got to 12:25 right now. So we're going to work on tightening up this a little bit better, make it a little more compressed and easy to follow and watch. Thank you for sticking around. Give us a comment if you're watching in a replay. What did you think of this? And we will see y'all later. And
oh, wait.
What?
Actually, Garth, I think it is Chris Adams MLP. I'm wrong. It is Chris Adams MLP. You got to add the MLP on the end. Anyway, yeah.
Now we'll end the chat.
Now we'll end this. And here we go, in stream.